Hello.
Hello, everybody. We got
Everybody.
a packed crowd tonight. I appreciate everybody stopping in the chat. We're going to kind of do an open panel tonight. We got Peña Perspective, our regular Thursday guest, and we also have Elaine popping in with us to start the show. I appreciate it.
Yay. Yep.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, it's been good. I haven't seen my cousin in 2 weeks, Jacob.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Burn. I was supposed to see her tonight, but I was like, I want to see her Sunday.
You'll catch up.
Your cousin?
Yeah, she's worse. Yeah. Usually Thursday, Jacob will tell you Thursday. I'm usually over here on Thursday normally, but not tonight. I just didn't feel like it.
Wasn't feeling it. Taking the night off. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And how have you been, Mr. Peña?
Thursday night with the Peña Perspective.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you're gonna spend your Thursday night anywhere, that's a good time. I feel like.
Sure.
I mean, we have some regulars that say it's one of their favorite Thursday things to do.
We're okay. We got somebody dropping in actually. Anyway, the topic that you wanted to talk about tonight, because we got a week's worth of stuff that we haven't picked up since last time, and man, more stuff is happening, but at the same time, we have to focus on real world life and what it means. But in the end, if you don't take care of the big things, you can't take care of the little things, or vice versa.
I feel like our conversations always get back to that. Worry about your immediate first.
My conversations usually.
I got a question. Can we talk?
Go for it.
I want to talk about a certain topic, but I don't know if we could talk about it down here. I don't want
say it in the private chat, and I'll let you know. Type it in the private chat, and I'll let you know if it's an okay topic.
Well, it's right near. It's in my state.
It's in your state. Okay.
Yeah.
So you might have more direct knowledge of it than myself.
Yeah.
So I might. Let's see.
It's just.
But hey, Terry. Hey, DP. Thank you, everybody in the chat.
Hi, DP.
Copyright that. Mark it.
Yeah, that's I'm the one that started that. I started that. This one. That one. But there's a specific reason for that. I want to talk about that.
Depending on what you talk about, that's a very vague topic.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we talking about schools, or are we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about like.
Are we talking about the kids' homes?
DOJ and what they're trying to do with the parents and that sort of thing.
Can I put it in private chat? Okay.
Oh yeah, go nuts. So what she said is the juvenile system for everybody watching. We just don't know what part of that she would like to discuss. We just want to make sure we're not crossing any lines.
Yeah.
Yes
and no.
I mean, know.
I just thought about it.
No. Okay. No. There's.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to offend anybody. Sorry.
No. You're not going to offend. You're not going to offend us. We would like to talk about that stuff.
Hold on. There is so much associated to that specific thing that you are talking about.
Are you talking about?
I can unravel that in 5 different dimensions that will tell you why this is extremely problematic and why it's being pushed to a specific point. And why details are being forgotten and not talked about because.
Are you talking about
structure to guide people's perceptions to what they want to control? So we're not going to talk about that is them trying to orchestrate public opinion to get implemented what they want to implement. Yeah. So
are you talking about the Texas case compared to a different one?
Well,
because she's talking about a different one. I do know I think I know Mr. Peña is talking about the Texas case that just happened.
No, there's one in Connecticut.
Yeah, she's talking about a different one. That's why I was saying I just wanted to lay the ground rules. You're talking about one that I don't mind touching on. I think it's very interesting that
hey, Mud Rabbit,
holding information regarding the shooting because they think it'll help a narrative in the Texas case. And I feel like everybody should look into that one a little bit more. But I don't know enough about the Connecticut one, so I can't make any claims on that one. I was just referring to the gentleman in Texas.
Can we talk about that one?
That's the one that I was talking
about. You can fill us in with any information that you know about it.
Let me ask you a question. People have been there are weekends that have been more dangerous than Afghanistan and Iraq.
Yes.
And it's never televised. Nobody sees a damn thing. And all of a sudden, in a specific week to where they're trying to divert attention from what is really going on, these things gain attention on the national scene in diverse places where supposedly it doesn't happen, but it's the same tendencies. Okay, it's the same maleficent to where nobody gets involved, people are getting hurt, and just it's jungle rules. And jungle rules are you deal with shit the way you need to deal with shit. It's just like in jail. It's like everybody's in fucking jail. Okay, and everybody's trying to shank everybody else in a different way, and it just doesn't work that way. That's not the way society's supposed to work. But whenever society feels like it's in jail, there are no holds barred. There are no rules because nobody's going to protect you. So you have to protect yourself. And the law of the jungle prevails. And unfortunately, in the majority of cases, that ends up working. It shouldn't work that way because there should be others involved that would separate a situation from it escalating to that point. Wow. I have 2 young boys, and boy, howdy, have there been numerous occasions to where that situation started to escalate. I intervened.
Elaine,
Stop.
I got to ask you, I just looked at some of the cases. It doesn't have anything to do with Sandy Hook, does it?
No.
Okay.
No.
The Sandy Hook also happened in Connecticut, and I was just making sure we weren't going to talk about.
Well, that got Alex taken down, but who knows? Same operatives, maybe.
But go ahead. Tell us a little bit about it.
Why are they bringing these things to light specifically? You have to see the agenda of what they want people to perceive to be able to guide them in a specific direction. What is it they want? They want Australia. They can't do Australia if we can still defend ourselves. Sorry, Elaine.
That's okay. That's all right.
You're good.
It's okay. I was now where I live, in West Haven, right? It's predominantly, diverse group of people.
I'm gonna say it's a pretty mixed community out there.
Right. All right. If you look it up in New Haven, it's like I'm like from the border where I live, across the way is New Haven.
Okay.
And per capita, it's been more violent now in New Haven now than it was last year during it. Well, I don't want to say the word.
Oh, you're talking about the peaceful protests.
Close down.
Yeah, we had the lockdowns and everything. I don't want to get into, and just past weekend, we just in Waterbury, that town alone, there was 3 shootings. 1 kid got shot in the back, 14-year-old. Yeah.
Did they do any research into it? Was he mistaken for somebody else? I mean, I know it doesn't matter involving the actual case.
Listen, this is the thing. The problem is all the juveniles that are in the detentions are getting released, and we're getting released, or some are released early, or they go to their parents. The problem is the system here. There's not enough. What's the word I'm looking for? Not enough manpower.
Yeah, that's
for the adult offenders. There's more progress for adult offenders than for the juvenile offenders, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, and we're seeing that.
Look at Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
You actually had Beetlejuice tell somebody, wait, you did something wrong because that corrupt ass Soros implemented bitch actually released a guy that was on film doing the thing, saying we don't have evidence when you've got 4 eyewitnesses and video coverage.
She didn't. Okay, so I got to break this down a little bit just so we're not putting out any disinformation. And I got a little bit more. All right, so her claim to that.
So enlighten me. I'm sorry. This is what I'm knowing from the other side of the fucking planet.
Oh no, this is the public perception of it. Apparently, the police chief is the one who told her that they didn't have enough evidence to prosecute. Whether the police chief actually said it, I don't know. But that's what she publicly came out and said. She put the blame on somebody else. Yes, we do have all the footage of when these people rolled up on a house and there was a there was a gun altercation. I mean, I've had weekends when 53 people got shot in Chicago. You know,
And there's
it
never
happened.
any news coverage of any of it.
I mean, we actually got a lot of it during the peaceful protests in Chicago. We did have a good number count during that time.
Yeah, peaceful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But here in Connecticut, the juvenile justice system is like, because there's certain offenses where they can't, like, they'll go for a little while, but they don't get tried as an adult. You know what I mean? So
I feel like that depends on the severity of the crime too.
yeah,
I feel like some children should get tried as adults if at a certain extent.
Can I tell a Mexican story now?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a story around the border that I heard, to where the police actually apprehended 5 individuals. 4 of them were up against the wall. One of them was 14, 15 years old. And, so they had everybody up against the wall, and they started to let one of the kids, the kid go, because after all, he's a fucking kid. Let's deal with the adults. And the biggest one just started laughing. And they stared at him and go, "The hell are you laughing at?" You going, "You idiot, you're letting a boss go." Why? Later on, they found out this 15-year-old kid had been melting people since he was 13. Okay, he was responsible for more than 320 individuals. Their essences dismissed of efficiently. And so this kid had more blood on his hand than all the 4 individuals that were up against
It's wild that the police wouldn't look into his past before they released him. They just looked at him by age and were like, "All right."
Kid. What does he know?
I would check if he had priors first, maybe where he came from, and look into his past a little bit to see if he just got mixed up with the wrong crowd. It's easy to assume that, but come on, I mean, you got to look into it a little bit. Ugh.
That's not always possible, because there you have to assume their criminality, and they were assuming the best. Okay, they don't understand the real situation of reality in which we are immersed. Okay, the reality in which we are in, the normal rules of expectancy and conduct are out the fucking window. You open the door for somebody, they're going to kick you in the nuts and slam the door in your face or whatever. It's a different reality we live in. However, that's why you have to put on the armor of God. We have to continue to walk in our expectation of what life is to be. I mean, be the change you want to see in the world. And so that comes from very essence of seeing all the things that are happening around us and going, yeah, despite that, I know that my Lord wins, and this is the way we're supposed to live. Unfortunately, he also tells us about things that we are to expect, and there's a storm of brewing.
Yeah.
And it's a frightful sight.
Let me jump on something real quick.
Please lighten it up, please.
Because I don't know if this is going to lighten it up at all, but I feel like it needs to be addressed, because I haven't really done it publicly, and I feel like it needs to be addressed.
What happened?
So there was a point, and I'll go ahead and throw up this message just to clarify things. There was a point when I went on my channel and I removed a bunch of videos, because I have a guest that likes to come on and then tell me that we can't have any of his content anymore, or will schedule interviews with me and then not show up. And I've done my best. There's a few people that I talked to in our community that I let know that there was these people that were actually being really rude to this guest, and they were bringing him on their radio show and trying to make fun of him. And the person that runs the radio show, he goes by the name of Ryan, and these people were bringing on one of my guests just to make fun of them. And I was like, I can't have this. Like, I don't like seeing somebody get made fun of because of, whatever it is. I just don't like watching people get made fun of for no reason or get taken advantage of. And so I went out and I put my neck out for this guy several times. And this is the message I just got. So
Oh.
so it's like, man, I hope you're doing well. Hope everything's okay. But yeah,
No,
sorry,
that's.
man.
But as long as you can still have some of the stories the stories that are up that he actually let you keep up, that's fine. I mean, every
Oh no,
conversation.
those are, and so I took down all the other stories, and what I did is I said, we can start fresh right now. We'll start fresh. If you want to do new interviews, we can do new interviews. But even some of the people in the chat right now can justify. I was in a group chat the other day, worried about this guest because I actually do, for some reason, care about how he's doing, and apparently I shouldn't have. It might have been a waste of
No, I
time.
never noticed that.
I don't
No,
even know. I don't know this person. I don't know who that Montauk.
no, I know Rocco. I know.
I heard of him, but
the
Oh no,
very
it wasn't on our channel, Mud Rabbit. Nobody on our channel is rude to him. It's actually from another channel, and I even went to that channel and spoke out against them, talking smack to him. And I just kind of defended this guy, and I've done my best to accommodate as best I could and be friendly.
the only thing we can do, Jake, is wish him a bon voyage.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I wish you that, and that was my immediate message. I said, okay, Rocco, hope you're doing well. You have a good one, man.
No worries, and then he can always tout. There's lots of stories. I mean, I see good going on Aaron's show, and there's a lot of stuff that he talks about that I somewhat agree with, and other stuff that's like, okay, that doesn't necessarily vibe, and that's the way you go with everybody. I mean, you don't know what to listen to or not, and so you try
and our channel. If our views when we're talking to other people are offending you about yourself, I was like, then maybe you just don't understand our channel. We talk to everybody on here. Like we don't.
No, I want to fucking offend you. That's why I'm fucking here.
Well, and I pick on you on a regular basis. I question your ideas on a regular basis.
And like I said, me personally, I'm fairly new. I'm new here, so I've only been here for 2 months. So I'm like,
oh, Elaine, it's totally fine. We like having you on.
oh,
I mean, we were talking about it offline. I was like, I hope Elaine pops on and got some questions for us. Keep us a little busy because sometimes every once in a while we'll have a day where it's like, man, there's so many topics in the news, but YouTube won't let us cover very many of them, and it's nice to venture off the normal topics.
I don't even have fingers to count the amount of things that I want to talk about that I
same Mud Rabbit. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Even I don't know Rocco that well. I wish you the best too, Rocco. I don't even know Rocco.
Yeah, I wish you the best, man. I hope you're in a good space, and if you need anything, you can still reach out to me. I'm not going to cut you off like that. I know I get cut off on one side on a constant basis, but I won't ever do that to you, man. You're more than welcome to reach out with me if your mind changes.
Infinity.
I wish you the best. Yes. Happy Thursday. Sorry.
I'm here. 8:30 was just I guess 6:30. I don't know what our standard time is going to end up being.
It's 7:30 here.
Yeah, well, you're in Eastern time. Okay, yeah, right. You're in Connecticut. That's Eastern time. Also same as Florida. So yeah. Anyway, but there's yeah, true. It's always there. We're always here to talk to people. Why? Because we're here to listen. That's the main objective. Is
and honestly, the StreamYard link is shared in the description, and I let everybody know it's an open panel tonight. Mm-hmm. You didn't come on. If you wanted to talk about anything, man, you're more than welcome to. As long as you're not coming on here to be mean to anybody, I'm always happy to talk to you.
Even Infinite was invited to come in.
Everybody that joins in with us is more than welcome to. And then any of our guests that aren't in here that
oh my lord, when Mud Rabbit jumped on, that is going to be epic. I mean, I have to put that onto a hard drive and laser disc that And
Yeah.
holy,
I feel like I need to share you a copy of that one.
I mean, seriously, Mud Rabbit makes Alex Jones seem like a neophyte, man. Holy fucking shit. It's like,
Alex
yeah, Alex
Jones?
Jones, he knows more or less, but he doesn't really know. Did you know this and this and this and this? Oh my God. Yeah, that was a good night. That was an absolutely good night. Yeah, Mud Rabbit, we love you. Infinite Moore has always got some good stuff, relatively new one that I see in here. Thursday, Elaine, you're just lying back on your bed, chilling. All right, cool. So, Jake, can I do some news or are we going to get banned?
Let's talk about what we were talking about offline. Let's talk about what's going on with this Facebook whistleblower.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
the Fantastic Freddy. The Fantastic Freddy set up to get you and
but you know what I think, though?
public policy because
You know what I
people's
think?
perceptions is altered by Garibald's theory.
Something doesn't seem right about that though, because she says she got all the files right, but then the I wasn't the attorney or this other guy was like, no,
Ted Cruz.
because the way
Ted Cruz did it. Ted Cruz was questioning her like that.
Yeah, the way questioning her, but then it's like she's
only releasing part of the data.
She's overcompensating. Like she's
she's only releasing part of the data, and she's going off of data that
she's saying she's only going by what's in there,
to say the least. And that's what Ted Cruz called her out for.
I think she's I think she might be over exaggerating a little bit some of the stuff.
No, I think the information she presented was factual. I don't think she's presenting the rest of the information that was maybe showing more positive benefit to some people's health aspect.
Right.
Because there is, regardless, we've talked about this on our channel before, regardless of what anybody thinks, there is something that happens on your dopamine and endorphin levels with your like to dislike ratio or how many retweets you get, or there's something about that when it comes to social media where people do get addicted to it, and it could be a drug to somebody.
Yeah, yeah. However, put up Mud Rabbit's last comment that's what really is interesting.
Which one?
Well, allowing them to censor.
Controlled
First Amendment. First Amendment, right? First Amendment. Hey.
That one right there. Later on, we'll go to the next one. Yeah. She is controlled opposition. She allows the information, just like Edward Scissorhands, the guy in Russia.
Well, and I don't even think she's controlled opposition besides pushing a narrative.
Edward
because
Scissorhands?
we're talking about this. I think it's you can clearly see that she's trying to get a government oversight committee involved with these social media platforms, and that's what they're trying to do.
Bravo! It's so easy to decide. I mean, they're down to their last fucking cards. They're throwing down, rookie fucking moves and shit. And we all see it because
you see Mark Zuckerberg though, what he said?
What did Mark say about it?
We take all of our users seriously. We don't use it. We don't make profit off of them. Yeah, well,
my lawyer told me to say this
because
the laws tell me that the only words that are allowed to use from my mouth are that I in no way am knowledgeable or in control of the things that others. Article 230 grants us, and we 500 million in California, but we are helping democracy. Help us.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna happen. Once it gets passed on one social media platform, Mud Rabbit, I think it'll spread to all the other ones as well. But what me and Michael were talking about offline was we were talking about the fact that you were talking about subverting the First Amendment, and I was wondering because we both kind of debated on this for a second, is if they get a government oversight from the U.S., do they then have to follow constitutional law, or is it going to, just like Mud Rabbit's saying, subvert First Amendment rights?
I mean,
that's what I'm wondering is if you have a government oversight on it, are you now responsible to follow the laws of that government?
You cannot have your own military on your grounds, but the United Nations somehow has allowed to have their military, which includes military individuals from around the world, to be present on American soil. And so there are many things to where they want to go on those grounds. So once a government, any kind of government, if that government is founded on our constitutional principles, so be it. Hallelujah. That's the way it's supposed to be. However, that doesn't give them the right to intercede, because that's what our Constitution protects. Once we allow government in there, that government can then be subverted to a higher authority, which then restricts those rights because they are not adherent to the rights recognized by that higher authority. If it is Europe, the United Nations, or by all means the Chinese or Iranians or Russians, then on each one of those, your individual rights will be extremely limited. Once the government gets in there, they can decide what you can do. It is best to not let them infect you from the beginning.
It's like an infection; it won't go away, right? Something like that.
You gotta some serious mushrooms, penicillin, that sort of shit.
Mhm.
Kill that motherfucker.
Oh, Rocco, you know I agree with you on most of those. When it
Hey,
comes
Herman.
to politics, I think they're intertwined.
You're right on that one, and there are bigger pictures to be had. And the thing is, that we need to get away from politics, but also confront politics, because that's the thing. These motherfuckers are supposed to represent us, and they don't in any way, shape, or form. They represent their own interests, and they only lie to us to get what they want. And so that's what we need to get away from. What we need to do is get grounded into our local communities, get to know the people around you, what it is they do, what can you guys help each other with, and you help each other build and grow. And through that, you find out what you actually need help on from a higher structure like our government structure, and what you can actually do for yourselves and grow on that. And then have people that represent those values that your community that you are growing actually represent in the higher form of government, not that stupid bought out bullshit that is today. Okay, today it's completely fucking manipulated and controlled on every freaking facet, from the people that call the laws, to the people that count the ballots, to the people that actually judge the things behind them. Every fucking layer of this goddamn thing is being seen to be corrupt on every fucking layer. I mean, there's evidence of this coming out every fucking day. I mean, you got asshats going, China crazy, just defending this bullshit in their own, to cover their own CYA. Know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the way the fucking thing is.
Hey, does China have we were talking about cryptocurrency earlier, and you just brought up China. Does China have some kind of ban against cryptocurrency?
Oh, they don't allow anyone to buy Bitcoin. However, they are
I thought it was interesting that they own so much.
Yeah.
They don't allow anyone else to use it, and they call
The
it
country owns it.
They are actually mining it under the Three Gorges Dam, which is the largest energy producer on the planet. They're mining Bitcoin, the largest energy producer on the planet.
It's wild that they wouldn't let the public do it and then try to have some government oversight.
It's not wild. That's exactly what fucking communists do.
Oh, I know. I expected them to do the communist play where they were like, hey, we're going to have our public have Bitcoin, and then we're going to be the oversights of it. And just like all these other small companies, they just steal their Bitcoin.
Did you not read Animal Farm? I mean, holy fucking shit. He had that shit nailed back in the 40s.
But wouldn't you want people to basically pay to give you currency?
His name, the pig still acts the same.
No. You're missing my point. I could see them being more communist by letting the public have this with their oversight.
That would
they let the public have everything else.
That's never what it is.
If they have the government oversight
to where everybody gets their fair share, it's always about we get ours and we'll dispense out to the people whatever it is that they want. Whether it is a globalist, capitalistic, that's crony capitalistic, corrupt system that also centralizes power, and whether it's communism or anything, it's all the same fucking thing. It's about we get fucking everything and everybody else gets our goddamn crumbs. And it's about.
I agree. That's the point I'm trying to make. So you're not letting me get out.
Jacob, I found something on Google. Google about China, about the ban.
Give me 2 seconds. So what I was trying to say about the Bitcoin ban is, if what they should do is the government should control the oversight of it. That way they're actually controlling the Bitcoin, just like all of these other middleman companies are doing. And then they're ended up turning tail and walking away with the public's Bitcoin. I could see China doing that to its people, where the people think they own Bitcoin, but really the country owns it because they're playing oversight on it.
Oh,
that's what I see China doing. That's why I don't see them doing a ban, because I want them to play the bank over the people and then just turn tail and walk away with their Bitcoin.
They're mining so much of it. It's not theirs.
Yeah, it's possible.
Maybe it's from Taiwan.
Mining it.
Dude, it's from Taiwan. The dude who created it is from Taiwan. That's why
I was asking Michael about this. When you're mining Bitcoin, you're not taking it from anybody else, though.
That's bizarre.
I learned this. When you're mining Bitcoin, you're not taking it from anyone else, though.
No. You're actually cracking the system. Your system is actually using the computing power of your computer to be able to hack the system and hack the maximum amount of errors that they can do to generate and rob Bitcoin. Every time you find a way to rob Bitcoin, you find a rupture and they seal it, and the process evolves. Okay, and for that, they give you a recompense, a finder's fee for finding the error in the system. And there are statistically a certain amount of errors that will and could occur probabilistically over time. Okay, and this is probably pre-calculated by an AI system to figure out how many times it would be able to get hacked until it would be unhackable. And at that point, they give people the reward for that. And at that point, there is no more of it, and you trade of it as you will. It is available to absolutely everyone, and you can't eliminate the trace of it because it's already there. You just can't make any more of it. Will that be useful? We have friends that state it will be. Is it a beginning point to something much, much larger that will control the general population eventually? I see that as a probability, because every single country wants to create their own type of cryptocurrency controlled by their own central institutions, because the control of people's finances is in absolute control of the individual. Without the mark, they will not be able to buy or sell.
Well, yeah, and that's what Mud Rabbit's saying is exactly what they want. They want you on state income, where you're required to work to have that income.
And you're required to
workforce.
Accept any kind of situation that they will require you to have state assistance. There was today an article that was talking about somebody who they weren't allowed to receive an organ transplant because they didn't have certain certifications.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I heard about that too. I know it's about,
See, they're going overboard on this shit.
Yeah.
There's no need to. Why? Because we need to stand up for our individual rights. Now, I know that that's particularly a point to where Facebook and YouTube have drawn a red fucking line. And so I don't want to cross it at all, because that seems to be the main world focus. And so we need to avoid that at all costs, because that is the one thing that they want to defend above everything else. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that they'd even let comments about Arizona go before they would about reducing our carbon footprint.
Yeah.
And yes, putting people on state income, that's one of the things. And also, when people lose their homes, who buys it up? Blackstone.
I want to get to Infinite Moss question. It's a good one. All right, so I don't think this is a weird question. I think this is something we also practice.
No. Universal idea. No.
Hold on, let me unpack this one a little bit, and then I'll let everybody jump in on it. So I don't think we want small communities making decisions for the majority. But I also think the majority can be wrong at times, where they're not making the best decision for themselves. So I don't think the system that we have implemented supports the best ideas getting pushed forward. It's just the most votes. And the most votes isn't always the best ideas. What do you think, Mr. Peña? I know you want to get on this one.
The gates to hell are wide and large.
Is that like anarchy?
And many will be instructed go through
anarchy.
Yeah.
Are you asking what the definition of anarchy is?
No. But the way he said it, though, I mean, a universal idea, but don't people have their own ideas and feelings? So
well, hold on.
Yeah, the question is: should small communities? Do we want small communities to control what they believe in, or a universal idea? So then the majority would have to follow that small community's idea.
No. That's what's happening now. You have a small community now wanting to control and manipulate the rest of them, and that's
I would say
whatever the fuck they please. They just make everybody else do what they want them to do.
I would say our society is broken into
community being responsible for themselves, and nobody else mandating what anybody else. It's not anarchy. It's individual communities that are responsible to themselves. Remember, the original institutes of the Constitution were that people that rented property or were passers-by were not voters in that area. Why? Because they had no long-term objective.
All you have to do, though, is look at the percentages.
People that are involved in the area, in the community, want to make it grow, that want to make others grow, that want to help everyone else around them grow and be better. And those self-sustaining and growing communities that also need help, because global interaction has been absolutely fantastic for our growth, but detrimental to the individual communities. It has destroyed the individual communities, and I think it's that we have.
Unpack that a little bit, because I do think there's multiple fractions in the U.S., but they are divided into two parties. And when it comes down to, and I think there's multiple parties on both sides of those parties. And I think that's showing in the Democratic Party, and it's also shown on the Republican side, that there's multiple fractions inside of those groups.
Yeah, they're all corrupt and egocentrical motherfuckers, and so they.
And I think it's.
Go to Mud Rabbit's last comment right there, please.
We all are designed as such. We all have inherent rights and believe that we choose, but there has to be community guidelines if you're to be involved in the community. Oh, okay.
And it's like
like you two.
That's the basic libertarian idea, though. Is let me do what I'm doing. You don't infringe on my rights, and I won't infringe on yours. It's a basic human understanding where we can coexist together.
And that's what our Constitution guarantees. That's why our government is actually representative of the people's will. When the government decides that it wants to do what that centralized government from the EU or other United Nations or other fucking ideals comes in, no, our individual rights end up being separated for one grandiose, universal, unifying ideology of everybody gets to take it wherever they don't want to take it because they have to. And you're gonna like it.
Infinite. Let me give you a great example. So publicly, I wouldn't be able to address this question because I am a male. And according to the public perception of things, is I'm not allowed to speak on this topic, even though I feel like I have a 50-50 involvement in this topic. As a responsible father, I feel like everybody that is involved in these type of situations, the father should have just as much involvement as anyone else. And that's not like that around the U.S.
No.
You know,
I am completely and abhorrently, obviously, because of my beliefs, against the slaughter of something that is not yours. For them to believe that it is a part of them is...
Oh, and that's what Mud Rabbit said. She said, I think they have the right, they're fathers, not if people don't depict them as fathers, and that's not a life in there.
Yeah, well, hold on.
No. I'm not supporting that idea. That's the public persona that's pushed. If there's not a baby in there, then how could that person be a father?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the whole idea of supporting abortion is I'm not turning in
it's not in there. It doesn't come out eventually. I mean, it's It's not like it's a tumor that it's a part of them and it's going to eventually kill them. It's something that
Oh
comes out.
no! There's a very large public perception of babies as being similar to a parasite and living off of the mother. And I do not consider that the
case. I can tell you, yes, they are.
They're not a parasite. Well, maybe I feel like they're more a parasite after they come out, not during.
The same thing. I'm a fucking parasite, and I have been for a long fucking time.
Maybe after they come out, but not during.
We are parasites. Holy
Jacob, I got that analogy. I got it.
But no,
that's kind of a hard topic. Yeah.
It's an interesting topic, and I always tell people, like, with topics like that, you have to go with your own instincts, but at the same time,
if you've got that problem, just take ivermectin and get rid of the worms, and you're
if it was a parasite, ivermectin would take care of it, I guess, in that sense.
There you
go. If it was scientifically a parasite, ivermectin is one of the best things to help with internal parasites. I mean, have you heard anything about?
They should recommend it to the people of Haiti because they had cholera and all that kind of shit, and I guarantee you those tapeworms are just cleaned right the fuck out. And it's not just for horses; it's been FDA approved for human use.
Mud Rabbit, the reason that men are actually excluded from this conversation so much, it has to do with the court systems as well. There was a lot of deadbeat dads in the younger days. And they adjusted the court system to take care of deadbeat dads and put more responsibility in the hands of the mother. Mm-hmm. And in a more liberal state like Illinois that I live in, I was at my daughter's birth. I was on the birth certificate, and I didn't have any rights to my daughter until I went into court and got them.
Seriously?
Are you serious?
True. Yeah, it's like that.
I'm sorry.
I believe it's the same
who gives you your rights?
The government has to give me the rights to my daughter. A DNA test won't do it.
No. The very first bath I gave both my boys was mine. The first one to clean their crap was me. The first one to protect them under the UV lights to keep them warm was me. The only rights that I have, I guarantee, and if they want to take them from me, they can fight me in court because I know I have them. But I don't give them up beforehand and then ask for them back, please. They're yours.
That's insane.
They have to take it away from you.
I agree with you, Mud Rabbit. It is used as a form of birth control now.
Yes.
No, but I'm saying they did that too, Jacob. That's crazy. That's insane. They did that too.
Oh yeah. I first 5 years of my daughter's life, I didn't have any rights to her as a custodial parent.
Wow.
I've gone. So people always look at me like, oh, he looks like he's got a nice relationship. They've been together for a long time. I've had to jump through a lot of hoops to get where I'm at today, and
everybody has.
I grew a lot up on. I was insane, like, mentally when I was going through that. Like, you don't know how hard it is for somebody to tell you you are not the father to the kid that you had. Like, that really does make you feel like a crazy person. And at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, well, I couldn't just give up at that point. I was like, all right, I have to at least move forward and do all these hoops they need me to jump through in order to get to this point. And eventually I got here. But I think the thing that made me strong mentally is when me and my significant other weren't together, the best thing for me was to establish that anybody else in my daughter's life wasn't trying to take my spot. They were just another person caring about my family and my daughter. And that helped me so much mentally, not to be like, this person's trying to take my space or this person's trying to. Because I feel like as a young man, I had that mental aspect of this person's trying to infringe on, some like part of my life. And it wasn't like that. I was just like, oh, there's more people around that care now. And it took me so long to get to that mental healthy spot as a young man that, oh yeah, I've done a lot of growing. And I feel like I've finally gotten to a point where I'm at least comfortable in my own skin about the whole situation and able to talk about it.
Can I mansplain a little bit?
Yeah, open your legs and mansplain. You can't mansplain without the spread.
Mansplain. Yep.
Who says I ain't never spread, man? I'm always spread.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah, but that's the way it goes.
Yep.
Look, I ain't got one. I got two boys, and right now they were running right past the camera because they want to practice their volleyball. And I'm proud of them, and I love the fact. And yes, it was controlled, and it was problematic, and it was every aspect of it has been controlled to make sure that things don't happen, because that's what fucking responsible individuals do. Now,
hey, it's all good information. Hold on, I gotta hold on. There was a chat that got deleted, so I just want to make sure everybody knows. If Mud Rabbit deletes anything, she is my most experienced moderator. There's usually a reason she does it. She has no ill intention towards anybody. She's just trying to protect the channel, and we want all of the conversation infinite moi. There was probably just a phrase or a word that got sparked.
Yeah,
that happens. But on the other hand, yeah, I've got my two boys and I'm happy of it, and a dog, and I have a blessed life. However, I remember when I was 16, I had a friend of mine who was 16 and he had an accident and he needed help to take care of the accident. I consider it as one of the worst decisions helping him. I wasn't the only one because I didn't have money for that. Mm-hmm. But I gave him a few bucks to help him out, along with other friends to help him out. And I thought seriously, 16 years old, he was a bit too young, but kid should have had his head on his shoulders. And I actually think that his life would have been better had he actually had that kid and, built his life around him and his girlfriend that he liked so much, who today he's not with. I don't know what the hell he's doing today. He's missing some teeth and been unemployed for a while. But maybe that could have changed if he would have had to have a little bit of responsibility at that time. And I also take it away from the parents or the dads who, oh, fuck, I knocked the girl up. I got to split down. Yeah, let her deal with it. It's in her belly now. No, that's dumbass. You fucking put that in there. Okay, so you're there along with him. As soon as it happens, it's like, okay, what do you do? And what we got to understand is it's gotten beyond.
Oh, no, I like the way you rephrase that. Yes, if men were able, that's an interesting question because of the society we're in today.
No,
yes,
shit,
if men were able to have birth or give birth, I do think the women that were involved in making the life should also have a decision in that. I don't think it's geared on who's carrying the baby. Who's carrying the baby, and don't get me wrong, they're supporting it and they're doing a huge part of the baby's growth and development.
Yeah.
But at the same time, women should be praised for that because it's something a man will never be able to do. As much as science might want to hate or public perception might want to hate the science reference I just made, some people are the only ones that are able to do this.
And hold on, just my little caveat there. We'll get to that in a minute. And yes, there is a point. My mom, I'm an only child. They wanted to have another one. When they tried, they weren't able to. My mom ended up miscarrying. Why? Because she used an IUD for more than 10 years. And that affects your body. Okay? Oh, yeah. You can't do it automatically. Yeah. It fucking happens. All right.
And they're getting better over time, but yeah.
Yeah. And there are ways to control these things and everything else. However, whenever we get to the fact that, like they're doing in Texas, all right, which I happen to agree with, why? Because if there's a heartbeat, I waited. Man, when mine was a little rice, he looked like a little piece of rice before you even boil it. Those little grains of rice. Aww. That's how fucking big he was. And the day that we could actually hear his heartbeat and differentiate it from his mom, I'm like, there he goes. Because I saw his development and his growth the entire time, because I've been filming this kid inside the belly for every month as he grew. Holy fucking shit. And when that heart came out, you're going, that's my boy. All right. Because it's going to slow down from there then on till the end of their life. Okay. So that heartbeat right there, I was waiting for it. And from that point, you see everything else start to develop. It's absolutely fantastic. It starts with the heart. Actually, it starts when the two come together and they actually create a life. And at that point, it's not yours. It's something else. It's a life. Okay.
And as much as I'd like to take a strong stance on it, the least we can do with the public perception that we have of abortion now is find that middle ground where we're not using it for birth control.
Yeah. But
my biggest problem with the whole argument is the cases that are arguing for abortion are less than 1% of cases. It's usually rape and incest are justified for all of abortions. Instead of just, if you wanted to, you could put a stipulation. Well, you could put a stipulation in the law that covered that, but then you'd still get fight back against it. Because that's not what
people, even when abortions were illegal, people were getting them and people were dying because they had incompetent situations and everything else. However, even if in the best situations that we have today to where it is legally acceptable in certain terms in the majority of the United States, people are no longer able to have kids after that. Why? Because it is a problem. You are already interfering in the normal process. Okay. So the person who makes that decision, look, I decided on mine and I can help decide for my friends. But I cannot mandate on everybody else. If they want to do a satanic child sacrifice, that's on them. Okay? I'm not going to do my part, and I'm not going to create mistakes and problems to where I'll have to do that. See what I'm saying? And the people that have to actually, they have to take it on the chin. They have to know, hey, look, you're killing your fucking kid. Now you're deciding that it's better now than as a fucking toddler when you're not going to be able to feed him because you're an incompetent fucking cunt and the guy ran out on you. I'm sorry for you. That's usually the reason they give themselves. I can't ever sustain this. My life is ruined.
I want to unpack. Next question because the chat's building up. I don't think that's controversial. I do think I totally respect your own beliefs. I'm going to tell you why I disagree with it, but it doesn't mean I don't have the right to tell anybody what to do. Period. Yeah, I'm not telling anybody what to do. But my mindset on it is, if you're making this adult decision that leads to an infant most of the time, I don't know if anybody's heard this, but sex often leads to a baby. I don't know if it might not be public perception at this point, but so when you're deciding to make another life with somebody, unless it's some kind of insemination process or donation process,
on Amazon.
I feel like it should be a group decision. If somebody wants to take it solely into their own responsibility and put that all on their shoulders and cut the person out of the decision, that's their own choice. But it should be, like you said, communication being key, should be established before the act itself. Then there's no controversy in it. Right. If the man wants to cut ties before he even is involved, then that's
then the decision is hers, and she has a choice, and other people can't really put their fucking nose in that.
Well, in the state of Illinois, guys actually have the right to go out and file an injunction to make sure that somebody doesn't get an abortion on their behalf. But they could leave the state. They could do a lot of things.
Now, one of the questions that I have to ask is this, and they have the right to do that. I mean, Roe v. Wade was like passed a year before I was born. And so my mom and the ERA brought me up on all that shit. All right. So I know a woman's right to choose is fucking her own. All right. She don't want to get it. She don't have to go through the fucking 9 months of freaking stretching out and blowing out. And it changes your fucking body, man. You want to go through that shit?
But you know what? They actually
close your legs and don't do what gets involved in that. One.
Right,
Two, I
feel like at the same time we got enough mechanical influence where If you don't think men are worth it, go get yourself a vibrator. They probably work better than most guys anyway.
Nowadays, that's available.
They got so many good things out there where you don't need to have the baby involved if you don't want to.
There's always another hole that you can't impregnate.
Yeah, sex is a decision. Sex isn't mandatory. You can relieve yourself in that sense, and I don't think the decision when it comes to sex, that's the only thing that you refer to that was a group decision. I mean, you can use other people to help heal, and maybe if you're talking like an injury and you need an expertise, but when it comes to eating, sleeping, drinking, those are all things you're doing for yourself.
Well, hold
sex
on. I had a
group. It's a group activity.
I had an aunt.
Can't deny the fact that it's a group activity. Sex is a group activity.
I had an aunt who had an undesired pregnancy. And my mother offered to adopt the girl so that she wouldn't have to make that kind of a decision. Thank God she decided to actually give it up to adoption, not to my mother, but to somebody else. And it was with the man with whom she got pregnant from, the man that she now has 2 boys. And so she might have been able to have a girl and 2 boys and had her girl back at this point. She gave her up for adoption. She was problematic at that time. Things were not easy, and things aren't easy today. But the girl's alive, and I don't know anything about her. She was given up, and I can't follow along and have no clue of who she is, but I know that she exists, and I know that she is still alive.
Oh, okay. So you're not talking about, okay. So when you said, do you decide to eat, drink, or sleep, you weren't talking about were you picking a dinner for the family that night and you were offering that suggestion to other people. What I was saying was, if you're deciding to eat, sleep, or drink, which are not group activities necessarily, you can make them a group activity by involving others in them. But then you also have to take the other person's consideration. If the other person says, no, I don't want McDonald's tonight, honey, are you going to go, fuck it? The guy doesn't matter what the guy wants. We're having McDonald's tonight because Mama wants McDonald's. I mean,
hey, that happens all the fucking time. Welcome to being married.
Oh,
we don't.
No fries. Individual decide. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And designing your own meal. I mean, unless you're.
Hey, if anybody wants to get McDonald's, I let them get McDonald's. I get the McDonald's, and then I stop off and get a Subway. Know what I'm saying?
But when you order food for somebody, do you go, oh, okay, I'm going to have a number 2 and she's going to have this. I didn't ask her what she wanted, but I'm going to decide what she's eating. No, it doesn't work like that.
If I know her well enough and it's going to take her 35 minutes to decide.
But that's knowing your
I'll fucking guess for her. I'll say, do you want this? Although you should ask her before you actually assume and actually order for her. And yes,
let me pose an interesting question. Do you think men should, if they wanted to get, let's see, a treatment for erectile dysfunction for their male members, and they want it covered by healthcare?
Fantastic Freddy.
If they wanted to get this paid for by public health care, do you think women should have a choice if it's paid for by public health care? Because I think women also pay taxes. It's not just one side that pays the taxes on these decisions that me and you are both talking about. Whether we're talking about abortion being federally funded and making it affordable for women, because there is a tax implication that goes into all of these decisions. And I do feel like if women are paying taxes on these decisions and men are paying taxes on these decisions, they both should get a right into the conversation.
Situation. If you want to,
no one should be disbarred. No one should be disbarred from a conversation based on race, sex, religion, or anything else. You need to weigh out.
Oh, I've been eliminated from conversations for a lot less than that.
I just feel like you bring the ideas to the table and you dismiss the ideas that don't hold water. I mean, if you can't pass that on a relatively agreed majority, that's how our country works. Sadly, I don't always agree with it, but
yeah,
that's how we're structured.
Yeah. However, that's based on a Greek ideology of democracy, and that has worked in several degrees in small
If a guy
regions.
wants to, sorry, Infinite Mods, unpacking some interesting questions. If a guy wants to hot wax your legs and tells you that your body needs to be waxed, I would say that's fucked up. He can't tell you how to do your body. But if he wants to wax his own legs, by all means, let him
Well,
wax his
see,
legs.
therein comes into an anthropological question. Okay, exactly. It depends on the relationship. If you're his boy toy, and you're his trophy wife, then holy shit, if he don't want a kid and he tells you to abort, then fucking abort. Or if he wants a kid and he wants you to fucking hold for
But
9
that
months,
should be something that's way pre-established, though.
Usually
It's not
it
just because
is.
it's not because okay, hold on. You phrased it really weird. If you have somebody as a trophy wife, and if you're thinking of her like that, and at least know that those ground rules are established prior, because if you're just thinking of her as your trophy wife and she thinks of you as her husband and a person I'm going to spend my life with, and you're just thinking of her as arm candy, then that's a problem.
If he's paying all the fucking bills and you ain't doing shit other than food and being pretty, yeah, you can pretty much admit that that's probably what's going through his fucking mind.
Not if he didn't establish it. Not if he did. I agree with the Infinite Mom on this one. And Mud Rabbit. Communication is key.
Who pays the bills? It's their possessions. Usually is what the mindset.
The question is, my question basically stems back to, do you think of a trophy wife as a possession? Because that's a dangerous thought.
Yeah, well, see, I would be a trophy husband, and so that gets into dangerous.
Ooh, that could be an egotistical thing, but go ahead. Let's hear you unpack that one.
We're not going to go down there. My 2 kids are playing ball here in the back, so that's not one.
They don't need to hear Dad's nonsense.
That's a whole other situation. However, and no, usually I wanted something that was a more profound relationship. Why? Because biblically it tells you that even the relationships that you have that end up badly, you're not having intercourse with the individual. You're having it with the soul. It's not the body. It's the entire entity. It's who their family is, who their structure is. Because it's the entire fucking package. Exactly.
The enchilada too.
It's the whole fucking enchilada. Don't tell me about enchiladas. Holy shit, too many things came into my mind.
Yes, and that's perfect. If you find somebody that you want to have a relationship that has the same views as you, you guys can go on and have a beautiful life together.
That's what procreating and making future generations is
finding
about.
Your best matchup, finding the best person that is compatible with you, and then moving from there. It's the people that rush into
going forward. I got these 2 kids at midnight playing ball.
You know, awesome. You know what I mean? It's the situations where people end up pregnant, though, that seem to be the
why? Because they don't consider the larger implications. They're just thinking about their body and their immediate needs. Okay, and that's a superficial reality that we need to get away from. That this culture drives us towards. What the Bible tells us that we need to get rid of in order to grow and evolve beyond what our carnal essence tells us we need to have. And part of it is staying in it and giving up that satanic child sacrifice in order to continue in the earthly world that you are so happy in. Then congratulations, you have gotten the heaven that you deserve. However, whenever you consider longer situations now, there are too many single mothers out there, and that's a problem, and we see that as a significant problem in society. They don't have the role models to actually do the things that need to be done, and single mothers have a tendency to be violent because they have to make the kids understand that they're the one that puts down the rules, and unfortunately, it sometimes gets out of hand. And what happens is that those kids end up growing thinking that that is acceptable behavior. And they do that to others, not understanding that, no, that was just somebody in a desperate situation trying to get control of a very difficult situation. Okay, there isn't that deeper understanding when people evolve and psychologically adopt those parameters that they guide as life affirming realities. Oh, this is the way we deal with people that don't agree with us. oh, this is the way that we deal with people that are a lot bigger than us. Oh, this is how we deal with people that tell us what to do.
So, Infinite Moi said, another great question to ownership of one's own body. Does your mate get to decide to have say if you need
Fuck
surgery? No.
Fuck
Here, I want
no.
to. Okay, that's Michael's opinion. Go ahead. You can unpack it, and then I want to unpack it. You say no?
I can have an opinion, but I can't make her do it. Holy shit! Even if I'm paying for
No,
it,
no. You're no. Say you were having surgery. Would you ask your wife her opinion on it?
Well, you kind of have to.
Why so? Unpack it a little bit. Why
because
so?
they're going to be looking at you for the rest of the time, even if you did it of your own volition. Their opinion doesn't fucking matter. They're still going to be looking at you, going,
"That's right.
I can't fucking believe you did that."
No.
Yeah,
well, and you have to deal with that for the rest of the fucking time because you didn't get their volition. That's what democracy is about. Because you have to deal with what people didn't necessarily agree with.
Go ahead, Elaine. I can hear you.
Get everybody to more or less agree, but it can't be, the plurality rules on everybody else. That's why we have an electoral college. That's why we protect minority rights. That's why we make sure that the people whose voices are unheard continue to be heard. That's why we have individual rights. Because the masses can't ever rule all. Because the masses are never correct.
Let Elaine jump on. Let Elaine jump on this. The chat's going nuts. I gotta get through this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Elaine.
No,
sorry.
What I think is this: I will ask somebody for their opinion, but
you're in the nursing. You're in the nursing department, so I feel like you got a little more insight on this than us.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on the person, like their body, individual needs, what their situation is. Unless it's life and death threatening, I think. If the significant other needs them to do it, I would say if they're have to be forced into it, if it's going to save their life, I would be like, go ahead. But other than that, it would be the individual's choice.
So, and this is where I differ from both of you guys. So, I think the only reason that you would talk to it about the other person is because it's a mutual respect for the person that you have a relationship with, and it's just like, hey, there's something going on with me that I would like you to know about. If there's something going on with you, I would want to know about it because we care about each other. And if you were talking about any surgery, because surgery is such a vague point, say a guy wanted to go out and get a vasectomy. I think he should talk to his wife about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
that's
definitely.
a surgery. It's a minor surgery, but at the same time, and it's not life-threatening, but I do think that should involve the other person involved in the decision because you need to know with communication, like we were talking about before, if one person wants to have more kids and one person doesn't, and they don't know that yet, and one person is going out and having a vasectomy, I feel like you could cross your significant other, which I would consider a foul across marriage if you didn't have that communication established.
I'm sorry. I think that we all have the right to go down to Cuba, do a complete fucking face change and makeup and everything else and come back home and go, hi, and they're going to slap us and say, who the fuck are you? Sorry. Usually you have to let people know what the fuck you're doing. Why? Because there are other people that are involved in your life other than you. If you're the only one involved in your life, then I'm fucking sorry for you. There should be more people involved in the decisions that you make. Your parents, your kids, your aunts, your uncles, your friends. Everybody's opinion counts. Not that they should decide what you do, but they usually have ideas.
I feel like that could even offend people. What if she went out and got her boobs larger without saying anything to you?
Hold on. I got mine wanting to reduce hers. Fuck you. No, you got to talk about that shit. They're my twins too.
Girlfriend, not wife. That depends on the severity of because I have a girlfriend because we're not big into marriage. We've been together for over 10 years. And I feel like those decisions, I treat them like I'm talking to my wife. It just depends on the relationship. If you're on a casual, hookup status with your girlfriend, I think it's based on how serious your relationship is. I mean, if you don't have a serious relationship, if it's just casual, then go with it and do what you will. Because, I mean, it's your level. And
you guys been living for more than 2 years consequentially with like clothes and toothbrushes and shit in each other's place? Have
What's
you
that?
been living together for more than 2 years?
6 years.
Then common law, you're married.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Woohoo.
Yeah. We used to have that in Connecticut here. I think they got rid of that. We used to have the
Yeah,
common law thing here.
it's not a question anymore. You didn't get a ceremony. Sorry, she's not your girlfriend anymore. She gets half, motherfucker. I mean, just
I like this one, Infinite Moi. She said, Tiffany, are they always this interesting? Because this is always cool. I'm glad you enjoy it. And we're glad we're not offending anybody because we're trying to just express our opinions. I know Elaine's got different opinions than me,
try to
Michael.
be as inoffensive as offensively possible.
I hate everybody equally. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. She said, "Oh, it's always interesting here. Some awesome people with these awesome people."
Oh, thanks, Tiffany.
If she wants kids and the person is having a vasectomy,
Right now, the reason that when you were starting to bring up this topic and I was screaming out Fantastic Freddy," and you decided to go down that route. Then I had to mute my mic because my dog was barking incessantly to something that was agitated in the woods. So now getting back to the Fantastic Freddy, there is a bill that is trying to be passed that would require men to have a vasectomy after 3 kids. You've had enough. Fuck you. Yeah, so all of a sudden the question of men's rights or people having rights over their own body becomes ever more prevalent. So yeah, we're not talking about mandating women's tubes being tied. We're talking about another life. Okay, so those are 2 different things that need to be. Yes, I'm not mandating anybody's tubes being tied or people.
No. She was just talking about surgery in general. That was a different question, not related to the first question.
Okay, well, I'm going back to the topic before that topic.
Okay.
But then again, because I got stuck on that with the fact that, the vasectomy thing, they want to restrict men to 3 kids. I understand the logic.
Well, I thought that they do the same interesting thing with not abortions, with getting your tubes tied for women. Most doctors will try to talk a woman out of it until she's had a certain number of kids in her life, and or if she hasn't had any, they'll try to talk you out of it as well.
Why? Because
and getting your tubes tied is actually
being here is to procreate. That's why we're mortal. The reason we're not immortal is we are mortal, which means we're going to die, and we are able to procreate.
I have no problem with somebody that wants to get their tubes tied and take a kid out of the adoption system.
If they're
not living in a home,
in their life, and they're going to die by a lonesome, and they're fine. Okay, each one decides.
I would rather have the individuals that are already here get taken care of the best, if that's the best decision.
But look. If people had the right focus, we wouldn't be having abortions because they wouldn't be doing those things to try and stimulate the happiness drug in their brain that they need in order to simply exist in this fucking wackadoodle reality that we're in right now.
And what state is that law? What law? I didn't see which one.
It's where 2 years, 2 years you're married. Here in Brazil, that's after 2 years you're legally married. So, but there are many states that after more than 6 months, it can actually be done and that sort of thing. It all depends on statutes.
What does your favorite president call those other countries? We're talking about the U.S.
The universe. He was talking about the universe is an interesting country, isn't it? In that way, the galaxy. The galaxy is an interesting country, I think, is what he said.
You know what?
We also want to limit the amount of kids we have. Welcome to China, folks. Wow.
Yeah. See, that's
Oh, I'm sorry. Elaine was talking. I don't want to talk over it. Go ahead.
Please.
No, I said I gotta check. I think Connecticut still has that common law marriage. Let me check.
Okay.
Is common law marriage still legal in Connecticut?
Hey, Jesse James. Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate it.
General Assembly. Under Connecticut case law, common law marriages are not valid. See McAnerney v. The rights and obligations that attend a valid marriage simply do not arise where the parties choose to cohabit outside the marital relationship.
Oh, there you go.
Well, slap my mouth. Thank
what
you
it
very
said.
much, Elaine. Now that's news. That's news. So yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll admit when I'm wrong. Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay. Here in Brazil, that actually is a thing. So if you're more than two, I remember in the 80s there was a thing to where people could actually sue you if they spent more than 6 months with their toothbrush in your apartment. Really bizarre stuff. But that was like 30 years, 40 years ago. Holy shit, 40 years ago. So yeah, I'm sure things have changed since then. However, getting back to the population control, there's a difference between having like a Chinese government control, which hasn't worked. They've got 300,000 males that don't have women, and they're just going to be completely destructive and testosterone prone. So look out for the army that China's going to have when they become adults, which is subsequently now. And at the same time, we have them trying to implement a more than one child policy because they realize that after a certain point in time, they're going to end up no longer being there. So then you've got, Saudi Arabia that had 7 children per male, and then they decided to educate the women. And when they educated the women and gave them the right to take prophylactics and different things that will inhibit their productivity in those aspects, they were able to limit their production to 2 children.
As a Christian,
by choice, they reduced it. Why? Because it's what they can actually take care of.
But do you have a problem with the opposing? Do you have a problem with if they were to take a drug to have like Octomom, like 8 kids if they wanted to?
There are people that want to have 1 and they end up having 8 because that's this.
My question. No. If they're taking a drug that's affecting their body to produce a larger litter of children, do you think that's a bad thing as well?
Well, that's what we did to have my first one.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Whenever they do the fertilization process and that sort of thing, or stimulation, what they do is they stimulate an overstimulation of the ovaries, so that it actually drops in multiple eggs, so that it can actually harvest those eggs and be able to do the things that they need to those eggs. Okay, and so it's a process that is normally induced, and whenever they have that, they generally have from 3 to 5 different viable species specimens that are there, and from those viable specimens, you will choose 1 or 2 that you will fecundate inside the utera to allow to bring them to term. Okay, and the others are discarded. Is that scientific enough for you?
You asking me that?
Yeah.
That's what happens. Am I going to agree with it or not agree with it?
My thing is, I could understand people taking supplements in order to compensate for something that might not work in their own body.
They do that, and that's what we do to survive.
I also see people like Octomom who do it to get famous. They're doing it when they're able to have kids, and then they're also taking these drugs to stimulate other things.
And that's on her, and that's fine.
No, I'm just saying, and it's her own opinion. My question is, you have a problem with people trying to stop a pregnancy. Do you have try to limit like birth control, stuff like that? Do you have a problem with them going against nature and doing the opposite?
This mom is going to have 8 kids. Question of the abortionist then becomes, what's going to happen to those 8 kids?
No. I'm not looking at it as
how are they going to grow up? Are they going to be individuals? Because at that point, we are concerned about the individual soul of each individual one of those kids, and we should be
not as an abortionist.
Mom had them, but how long did that famousdom or stardom actually affect? Were the kids actually be able to be raised? 8 fucking kids.
You just justified the last argument on a religious basis. I'm asking you to justify this one on a religious basis, not based on an abortionist. An abortionist is viewing it on saving a life. If you think of it as a Christian belief that tells you that stopping a process that's natural that occurs in humans, and we are meant to procreate, was your argument for the first one.
Yep.
Do you think it's negative to do that in an advancement and trying to push things a further way?
And on both accounts, I'm not going to limit their choices. They are condemned.
No, it's not your. I would never limit anybody else's choices. That's.
However, it's just stupid because she's doing this for short-term gain, and there are very long-term. I've got 2 kids that they haven't even, 17 and 13. Holy shit, and they're still years ahead. I mean, I'm still dependent on my dad, and I'm fucking pushing 50. I mean, holy fucking shit, and that's 2. This bitch has got 8. She's thinking Hollywood's going to support her 8 fucking kids, or even her.
Listen, the thing is, what
oh my god, Infinite! That is such a naughty thing to say. That is not a form of. I really hope people.
I have 2 kids. How do you think I have 2 and not more? Infinite more is absolutely right.
Okay, well that's not okay. So no. I 100% have to clarify this with a nurse on here and myself on here. That is not a form of birth control. Pulling out does not work as a form of birth control. Do not pretend it does.
Honestly, I could tell you 100% it don't work. It don't work.
It's not how bodies work.
Nah. But
go ahead. Sorry,
can I say something about Octomom? Okay, I didn't want to interrupt. She got 8 kids now, right? Did you know that the government was giving her food stamps? She was getting money and stuff. I mean, but she wanted to have more. But she had all these like nannies, and she had. I'm like, and she wasn't working, and I'm like, I mean, I'm not knocking her. Don't get me wrong. I think kids are cool, but I mean.
Oh no! It's like, okay, you're gonna accept, just like we're talking about with sex and knowing that it could bring a baby or maybe twins or something like that. There's a chance for that. You're taking these drugs that are going to give you an even greater chance of getting multiple offspring. You have to be ready for that commitment financially.
Why do they want them? Why do they want those kids?
It's a great question.
And see, that's the deeper. It's the act ends up being very physical, but it has a very long-term, consequential, soul, multiple dimensional.
Does the want matter in the creation of the act? Does the want matter? Does the want or the reason that they're doing it, does that even matter before you decide the act? Because I think that should be established prior to the act itself of creating a baby. It shouldn't be established after the baby is already created.
The fact that a baby is created, what kind of baby? Yes, I think it would affect it. The fact that a baby is created, that's a genealogical fact. That's science. That's medicine. It is what it is. When the things get to where they need to get to, things happen. Okay, that's science. Now, what kind of an entity comes out of that depends on the energies that are put in. If you put in the energies necessary to dominate, subjugate, and destroy in order to guarantee a progenitor, then that seed is going to be problematic in its core, in its essence, because the essence of its creation was thus, and thus will be the essence of its demise. Because the way that we come in, we're like salmon. We go back to our source. So if we're bred out of pure carnal lust, we're going to be consumed by that our entire life unless we learn to get a hold of it. If we're bred in a trophy-like situation, because not only are wives trophies, children are trophies too. I mean, I was in a school to where the kids were absolute trophies and they had to shine as thus. And if they did not shine as brightly as was expected, that was problematic. Okay, so not only are wives trophies, children are trophies as well, because people perceive things as possessions.
I think okay, so to have the idea of putting somebody as a trophy is an honorable thing, depending on
no way.
Listen, depending on where you take it. If you think of it as a trophy, like a possession, or you think of it like I'm honored to be and have this person in my life, like that to me is how you should think of a trophy wife or a trophy
depends on
child.
how you focus on trophies.
But a trophy
are trophies something you collect, or a trophy
just
something that actually you're proud of?
Just the depiction is something you're given. By definition, a trophy is something you're handed.
But they don't give you a trophy for nothing.
Oh yeah, they do. They're called participation trophies. We give a lot of them out these days,
and those are usually worth dog shit. Okay, and you can have all those fucking trophies you want. All right. However, the thing is that when people perceive everything else is, this happens a lot when people are full of themselves. They work their ass off, they get all their money, and they know the people around them because they want their cash. And so they have their entourage, which in some cases are the trophies that they have with them. Those things, those medals that they put on there, like that fucking Chinese general, Mai Li. When the guy, he likes to have a bunch of, stuff on his chest saying that he did a certain, those are all little trophies. I mean, how many people did he kill to have all those trophies? And so it depends on how you view the trophies. Now, what you wanted to say that, Jake, is what trophies were originally constructed as look what I was able to achieve because I'm a fucking badass.
But you know what?
I don't think trophies have to do with personal achievement.
You're right.
I think you can be gifted with something in your life that you didn't necessarily put there. Maybe your actions kept it there. But I don't think
the kid who comes in first place in the track meet doesn't deserve a trophy. The team that actually comes together and comes in first place in the state championship doesn't deserve a trophy.
No, because you're playing with the purpose of a definition. I can give a runner a medal. Why is a trophy significant?
Usually it's larger, it's bigger.
Sorry, Elaine, jump in.
Please.
Jump in whenever you're ready.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, you're not interrupting us. You're up here with
us. Here's something here. They said referring to a spouse as a trophy reflects negativity on the character of both parties. Here's something. For the husband, it has a connotation of narcissism and the need to impress, and that the husband would not be able to attract the sexual interest of the attractive woman for any reason apart from his wealth or position.
Where did this? What book gave us this definition?
It's in Wikipedia, but there's more. Listen, a trophy wife is a wife who is regarded as a status symbol for the husband. The term is often used in a derogatory and disparaging way, implying that the wife in question has little personal merit besides her physical attractiveness, requires substantial expense for maintaining her appearance, is often unintelligent, unsophisticated, does very little of substance beyond remaining attractive, and is in some ways synonymous with the term gold digger.
Okay. So, and I think there's
that's what I wanted to get to, not all this other stuff that was.
So I think there's two ways. I think there's two ways to define the word that you just used.
Right.
And I think you can, phrases that you can use. You could say, she's my trophy wife, the way that you described it, or you can say, she's out of my league.
No, my wife is a trophy.
That's an appropriate. I feel like that's an appropriate thing to say the way that you're using. She's a trophy wife. If I say my girlfriend's out of my league, she is. I'm happy to be with her. I'm honored to be with her. I think she is better than I am.
Jake,
but you know what I mean? That's how you should feel with your significant other. It shouldn't be a matter of I'm putting her up here because of the way she looks. I'm going to keep her right over here. She's my arm.
You're putting her on a pedestal, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but see, you're taking it.
That brings us back to the trophy definition.
Yeah, but you're taking it. Jake, you're taking it from a common person's perspective, and none of these phrases are used for common people because no common person has a trophy wife. Because what the fuck? Your wife pays half the fucking bills. You have to take out the trash. There ain't no fucking trophy about it. You guys are teamwork. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah. And I'll be the first one to tell you, there ain't nothing common about my girlfriend. I love
What
it. I
I
love
want
every
to
part
talk
of her.
about is trophy wife usually has to do with people that are working 12, 14, 16-hour days. They got their shit on the run. They are making fucking bank. But they want somebody to be there whenever they need them because they got little time to do all the fucking bullshit playing around that everybody else fucking wastes time playing around with. And so they get somebody on the low that can stay there on a constant basis. And yeah, they
Well,
require
see,
bank.
Peña, can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Let me jump in that one.
Well, considering that Jake will be right back,
Yeah, Jake will be right back,
definitely.
guys.
Let's keep this conversation going.
Okay, so
Elaine. Go
for
ahead.
me, I've been doing healthcare for 26, 27 years. Okay. I have a 17-year-old, right? Son. I have a niece that's 21. Okay. Now, they're both doing their own thing now. My son's traveling for a job. My niece is doing modeling. Okay. So
Their life, their choice.
that's right. So for me, I work more. I might be getting a second job because I got to help. I try to help both of them out with what I can. You know what I mean? So how you say it? I don't work I work like 9 hours a day almost, give or take, and almost every
No.
weekend. You know that. I work almost every weekend. So last time I took what I mean, I would like to have a significant other someday, but right now, long story short, I don't. You know,
Why do you want to have a significant other?
why?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to. I don't want to be.
Get a dog.
We can't have dogs in my apartment.
That's your significant other, because otherwise you ain't got time for them.
I mean, if I had time, well, I could make the time. See, the thing is, evenings, I could.
But see, that's the whole point, Elaine, and that's one of the arguments that I have with my mother.
Right.
Okay, because my mother, and she was brought up in that 70s women's lib and everything else. We got to have our. My wife is the same way.
Yep.
And my wife is the same way. She built her career. I mean, she's one of the most veteran people in the corporation that she's at, which is IT corporation, which isn't fucking bad at all. So kudos to her. But at the same time, there's lots of times to where I wanted attention and she was working her ass off. And so there wasn't any to be had. Right. And in many cases, that usually makes people go to why? Because they're narcissists. They want attention when they want attention because they ain't got time for somebody else's bullshit because they don't see beyond themselves. And so we get into this physical state where we have to have something else. Why? Because that anthropological, physiological need to procreate drives us for a certain point. After a certain point, your hormones start to drop off, and that need rescinds. But the greater need of companionship, being in society and being accepted by somebody else, and being able to create a common pathway forward towards some generalized comfortable ending to it all, and that's usually what we look for partnerships for. Right. However, we can't get that second one without the first one, and so there's certain time frames when that's necessary to be had, and afterwards it becomes extremely difficult without focusing on the first. Because my mom's had 3 boyfriends, 2 of them died, and one just said, "No, I ain't giving you." No.
Yeah. Well, see, with me, it's like this. It's not like I don't let anybody define me. I define myself. What I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? And Jake will tell you, I don't put up shit for nobody. Excuse my language, but I don't put up. Can I say
That's
the word?
Why I like.
You're from the Northeast. You're like in New York,
Connecticut.
Same thing.
Elaine's a bullshit detector. That's why I like having Elaine around. She will not sit there and deal with drama. She would rather just address it. If you don't want to address it right now, just tell me, hey, we'll talk about it later. But at the same time, you're not going to go around starting fucking drama. If you want to talk about something,
don't be doing no bullshit in upstate New York or Connecticut because they know what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
I
got the accent too.
I know. I heard it, and I've been there. And
I can't help it. I got the accent.
Mud Rabbit, I like what you said. Mud Rabbit said, I got a dog after my divorce. Best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, I mean, I would like to have somebody by my side. You know what I'm saying, Jake? Do. I don't want nobody to define me, but I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life. You understand?
And nobody wants to. Everybody wants that companionship. And don't get me wrong, it took me a long time to realize that I had found who I thought I wanted for the rest of my life. But it took me a long point to get to this point. Like I said, I was telling you guys about the mental torture that I went through when I was younger, when my daughter was first born. That kind of stuff really puts a toll on you. And it really does test the waters and see how much you want to be with somebody, how much you care about this other person. Like there's a lot of things I've had to go to get to where I'm at today. So I understand
what a relationship is about, and that's what a relationship is supposed to be about. It's that building a life together. It's not somebody to accompany me. It's not, I'm going to accompany somebody else. I'm going to follow along in their footsteps and I'll be in their shadow. And, he's got the cars and so I'll have the cars too, or whatever. It's when both come together and go, you know what? I think that's possible to build. Yeah, I agree. That is possible. How can we do that? Well, I can do this. Well, I can do this other thing. Well, yeah, we can really get there. Let's start doing that. And you work together towards a fun, and that is community. That's where life exists. It's not in the macro. It's always in the micro, because the micro defines the macro. You can't have macroeconomics without understanding microeconomics.
Well, just like all of our conversations lead back to, if you don't have yourself figured out and you're not healthy in your own skin, probably don't go start a relationship with anyone else. Honestly.
And definitely don't be knocking anybody up unnecessarily. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Dumbass. Now own that shit.
Yeah.
You popped it. Now you got to own up, motherfucker. Pay your bills, bitch. Get a job.
Is there anybody that doesn't find life a little bit ridiculous? I feel like I feel like everybody on this panel could admit there's something in life that's absolutely ridiculous.
No, but
let me tell you, Jacob, I know. Jacob, I know. Oh.
But it's got to be your kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the ridiculous shit I've seen is just. And
but
sometimes I can't explain it myself.
Ridiculous, but it's got to be your jive, your
kind. Me and my girlfriend say that all the time. She and I both agree that we're both each other's type of crazy, where we work great together. we are on the same frequency with a lot of things. Our crazy is unbound most of the time, but we understand each other, and that's all that matters.
You're compatible. You're compatible. That's you feed off each other. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's how it should be. It should be yin and yang in a relationship.
Not after her husband divorced her, died, I guess, 2 years ago. So sorry, Mud Rabbit, for your puppy. Hope you got another one.
I just saw that now.
Oh, thank you, Infinite. We appreciate it.
If you go on to Peña Perspective, you can find my Bitcoin link on there, and you can drop all the rings you want into my Bitcoin wallet. Yeah. I'll be very, very grateful to you for that. There's also a PayPal account in case. I just have
a Cash App.
I mean,
hey, they can put in Bitcoin. I got no problems with that. Yeah. I would be more than happy with that.
I ain't saying you guys are gold diggers, but
gold is cheap, motherfucker.
Hey, there's something I want to touch on. It's not about this subject.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's going on in Connecticut? You know those catalytic converters? They've been stealing a lot of that lately because copper made a copper, and then they get some off the black market. They can sell it on there.
No, they do that. They're doing that all over. They do that in my local town too.
And they saw it off. I'm serious. They showed a picture of a guy doing it. They went underneath the bus and took a whole thing. Yeah.
Terry, I appreciate this. I wanted to put this up. Oh, clicking the wrong ones. Moving too fast. He said, Jacob Waters, having met you and your girlfriend, yep, I can tell you two of you found each other, and I'm very happy for both of you. I appreciate it. Terry's probably one of the few people that has seen my significant other. I tried to keep her off the internet as much as possible. Anybody that's friends with me on Facebook, could figure it out. But
Our tattoo.
oh yeah, that was the first. That was the first live. That was the first live she ever appeared on.
Yeah,
And it was
I never
prior
seen
to the live.
Jacob. I never seen her.
You haven't? I mean, if you looked at my Facebook, you'd see her. We're friends on
You haven't
Facebook.
watched his show.
Oh, I
You
see.
gotta
Okay,
watch his
okay.
again.
All right. I seen her. Okay. I remember.
I was gonna say, if anybody and any of us are friends, it's literally my profile picture. So people, and that's actually our picture from high school homecoming. I graduated in 08.
What other untouchable topic will we touch on today?
Oh,
I
we're
was
talking about some
talking
fun
about the
ones.
copper, about the taking the catalytic converters, making money off that.
Catalytic converter. Enlighten me, Elaine.
Well, no, they're over here.
So they steal these pieces off of cars.
What they're doing is they're going underneath the cars.
Yep.
And they're sawing them off, right? And what they do is they're going to take it and sell it for a profit or on the black market, which is illegal.
Well, illegal doesn't mean much anymore.
Yeah, but
I mean, you don't even have to sell them on the black market. You can literally take it to a scrapyard.
Which is the black market?
You can take it to a scrapyard.
Well, yeah, and that's just for scrap metal.
But at the value that copper is going down, I would tell people it's a waste of your time to steal Cadillac converters.
Well, hold on, they can pay. Well, actually, they could have. They didn't anymore. The U.S. just got, and this was on Marf News last night. The U.S. just sold the USS Kitty Hawk and the USS John F. Kennedy aircraft carriers to I don't know who for $1 each for scrap. 2 aircraft carriers for $1 each for scrap.
Are you talking about the message that Terry sent to you about where in? Are you saying where in? Where in Vegas? Is that what Infinite's asking? Where we're all going to get married in Vegas?
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know if that was to the first statement that Terry said.
I don't know. I always dreamed of going near the Eiffel Tower, So the Bally Hotel has the Eiffel Tower there. I don't know.
The fake one? Yes, that'll work. I mean, I feel like if Siegfried and Roy or some kind of Elvis stand-in,
I don't know, but that's interior Venice is also absolutely fantastic. So
Infinite note, yep, Elvis drive-through. I know a guy. I got this buddy Aaron. He will be our stand-in.
Hey, pay for my airline ticket up there. I'll be there in the flash.
We'll pay for Aaron to go, and he'll be the guy singing for us, and he'll be our Elvis impersonator. We're bringing him to Texas too.
Aaron has to be Elvis, absolutely.
I'm not hiring anyone else.
That's not even an option.
Where is this question going? Screwdrivers cost a lot more.
All right. Orange juice has gone up, and the price of vodka, I'm assuming. But
you know what?
Yes, Elaine.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry, Jacob. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're not interrupting anybody. Go ahead.
All the prices are getting, because all the holiday shopping, all the prices are going up. You know why? Yeah. Because all the cargo ships, how they're still at port, they're not shipping as much stuff.
Well, it also has to do with production the last year too.
Yeah.
I mean, our production when you have this many people not working, I could see how the factories aren't churning that much out.
Y'all want to believe all that bullshit?
I mean, I know for a fact what percentage of people we have in the workforce in the U.S.
I know people aren't producing. I also know that there are boats by the hundreds waiting to be unloaded. They don't have any workers. Unloaded.
Oh yeah, no, it's also supply and demand. They can hold out.
Now my question is,
you're going to get the demand for it.
Yeah, my question is: are all those things happenstance, or are they planned to make sure that we don't have supply. What do you do when you're an invading army to a citadel? What you do is you cut off their water and supplies. Eventually, they will starve to death and they will give up. Otherwise, they'll be too weak to defend themselves. And you break down their walls and you invade their citadel. That is the way that conquest was done for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay, who says that we're not being starved out at this point from an invading mass? And the problem is that that beast got in a long fucking time ago, and it's in aiding and abetting the enemy. People, that's why I talk about getting back to community, because we got to make sure the communities, the ones around you, everything else, fucking bullshit. It's all going to go, the dodo, the way of the dodo. All the structure, the infrastructure, the systems that we depend on and everything else, it's going to be bye-bye. What's going to matter is you and the people around you. Are you going to be able to survive? Make sure you can be friends with those around you and find a way to survive with you all as a community. Because the rest is going to be bullshit. It's going to be a distraction that will keep you unfed and unproductive and dependent on a system that would rather feed you poison and kill you.
So, Terry, I wanted to adjust that. I don't want to abuse that ability. The one time I used it, it worked, and he answered immediately. Aaron's such a nice guy, and me and Terry were actually talking about Aaron, so I reached out to Aaron and I was like, "Aaron's got to hear this." But I try not to reach out to him on just kind of random panels. I don't know. I would have to touch base with him a little bit more and see if he wanted to get involved with those type of things before I got him on here right away. But I would love to see him on here singing Elvis sometime. I wouldn't even mind doing an interview with Aaron. That would be a lot of fun. Open up the panel and have everybody join us in Aaron.
See, it would give Aaron an opportunity to do on your channel what you wanted to do on his. You were about to blow up his channel when I first met you.
Oh no, I look back at that interview. I didn't say anything that would have gotten him in trouble.
But at that point, at the paranoid level that YouTube was, especially at that point.
Well, because at the time you guys were saying like AJ and stuff like that, you can't get in trouble for saying Alex Jones on the internet. It depends on if you say Alex Jones and then go on to make some kind of statement about that person, whether, I feel like that's when you start.
He told us they're making the frogs gay, and he's right.
In a vague term, you're right. But no, that's not what's going on 100%. It's not just they're turning the frogs gay. Because
and the fish
sexual preference
and everything else that touches the water that comes from the effluent of the industries and agriculture.
Sexual preference isn't what was being changed in the amphibians. Sexual preference wasn't. Sexual orientation was. But that's,
one doesn't lead to the other.
It depends on what America you live in. I don't think the two are interchangeable. If you think they are, let me know, because that's a very.
They are. It depends on the estrogen levels in the body. You think estrogen levels in the body, and you can absolutely.
The estrogen levels in your body. The estrogen levels in your body should make no difference of what you're interested in personally.
Seriously, then you haven't studied freaking how chemistry.
I know two girls with a lot of. I know two girls with a lot of estrogen can still be gay. I know two guys with a lot of estrogen that you'd consider more on the feminine side could also be considered gay. It doesn't correlate at the same time. You can have a girl with significantly more estrogen than the male that she's dating.
Yeah, they're all going to be having more estrogen. They're not giving the girls more testosterone. They're giving everyone more estrogen, and therein lies the rub. Because
TRT treatments are on the highest rise that they've ever been.
TRT. testosterone replacement. Yeah, because people are lacking testosterone because every single chemical reaction and everything else that we have in the influence, the water that we have, everything is more or less. It's not that it's estrogen, but it's estrogen-like in its reaction and its chemical reactions. And so it's not one individual chemical, but it's the plethora of all of them that are in the water supply that we take that can't be filtered out because it's actually part of the water itself.
Oh, Jesus.
Part of the
Mud Rabbit, thank you for unpacking that one.
Oh yeah, and you had the $20,000 hammers as well, and that sort of shit.
Yeah, the hot dogs were expensive, and they had to order a lot of them. I get it.
Oh, you're not going to go down that. You did not mention the hot dogs.
Okay, moving on.
Am I going to open up Haiti?
No, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm sorry.
No.
I just like hot dogs.
No, you don't. I like pizza.
Chicago. I like a Chicago style dog. All right. Dog Bears.
I remember that was from,
while she does.
that's a reference from Saturday Night Live, right? The Bears.
Yeah. It's Dog Bears.
I remember that. That's I was. You know how old
80,
I was?
85, 85 was a great year.
Damn, man.
Bears. I never
Super Bowl.
respected the Patriots after that. Well, when Brady got 5 Super Bowls, I started to respect the Patriots. Now, fuck them. Go Bucks.
Hey, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm in New England.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm a Boston fan. I mean, I love the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
Visiting Harvard and MIT was absolutely phenomenal and life-changing and everything else. So, yeah, I've got a really sweet spot in my heart for Boston. Absolutely. That being said, Buccaneers, freaking top, man. They got themselves a good quarterback this year. Don't know how Patriots are going to be doing, but anyway. Whatever. Go Cowboys. We're rocking it this year, and without the Patriots doing their stupid bullshit, maybe the Cowboys have a chance at it. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what that goes.
Anyway, Jacob, I'm gonna drop off, okay? Because
all right, I appreciate you dropping on.
All right,
thank you. I appreciate it.
If you guys are still up here, I'll come back. Are you gonna be up here for a
bit? No worries. Hey, you need to tell me when you want me on your channel for that interview.
Yeah, I gotta talk. That's when me. Yeah, I was on. I'll get with Jacob. I'll talk to you, Jacob, about that with Peña.
You tell me anything, and I'll relay it to Mr. Peña, or I can get you guys. I can
Facebook,
always.
Right? Do you have Facebook? I don't have you on Facebook.
Yeah, I've got Facebook.
I will give you Elaine's Facebook page, and you guys can get connected.
Look for Jake. I'm on his friend's page as well.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you can find me on there, or you can find him on mine.
All right, no problem.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Guys, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for having me up. Love y'all. Good night.
Peace.
Love you. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye.
All right. So now it's up to moi and Mud Rabbit and Tiffany to keep us going.
Oh, I'm not. What am I? Chopped liver? I feel like me and you can do it too. We do pretty well on our own.
I don't know.
We support the great crowd.
Point, I'm thinking about Afghanistan. I'm thinking about CRT. I'm thinking about the DOJ. I'm thinking about the ties.
Yeah, but there's so many topics. There's so many topics in the world.
To where his son-in-law is one of the
action. Here it comes. You ready?
Things to the CRT. The fact that they actually filmed Biden in a set recently.
Look at this great distraction I have.
In the Taiwan Straits. My mind is exploding with things that I would love to be able to talk about, none of which of those topics would be sustainable on this platform.
Oh, I know. That's why I muted you for the last little bit you went on, because I knew exactly where that was going. You looked down and just kept going. I saw what was happening. I don't play those games.
Everything that's in the news and see how much you muted of what it is in the news.
Hey, that's fine. I just wanted to. There's so many topics we can talk about, though. I feel like we're 2 hours in and we've talked about things all night. I don't feel like we're
2 hours in.
Exactly. Oh, we're pulling a Niner, he said. All right. I got you.
I don't see us going that far. I still got shit to do, but still.
Maria, thank you for stopping in.
I always have fun on Maria. Thank you very much. I think she added me on Facebook. I'm not sure. I need to double check that, but I think so.
An Infinite, I saw your message back here. So, yeah, I feel like some people feel like they're left out, but I think that depends on the people they surround themselves with. I have gay friends, straight friends.
Nobody understands us. Everybody wants to put us into one place or another. They can't accept. We accept everyone.
Mother Evan said, "Men stop eating soy."
You only accept that. You can't. No, and you can't. You can't. No, we can't have a choice. I mean, what the fuck? We have to be in one camp. No, I mean, shit. A hole's a hole, baby.
Jesus. I don't feel the same way. Men stop eating soy. Okay, so I assume that was attached to the estrogen. I said also beans because that's another thing that actually produces higher estrogen in males. Thumbs up, y'all.
Yeah, soybeans.
Yeah, if anybody's in here and hanging out, feel free to leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't. I don't know. Anything that you guys want to do. If anyone is consistently left out of the group, they need to reassess their friends. Yeah, exactly. I mean, is it even a group that you want to be in if they're leaving you to the outskirts?
It depends. It's all about networking. It's networking. You got to know those people because they might, get you like a fucking contract or something. So we got Maria's going through. Hello and thank you for joining us. And then we got Infinite Mua giving us a new title segment to one of our podcasts. Now to the news.
Oh.
Now let's get into the news segment. Mute. Okay, in tonight's news. And Joe Biden. And in other news.
Now you guys are all caught up. Congratulations. Oh, golly. Well, what's everybody else up to tonight? If anybody else wants to join on, we're kind of just running an open panel tonight, letting everybody shoot the shit with us. We didn't really structure this show tonight because we know sometimes we get too into politics.
We're at the fall of one of the greatest civilizations on Earth. We've got the most incompetent freaking puppet placed into power, driving us into absolute destruction, while our most vile nemesis, who we ourselves created, is out for our own destruction and for world domination. No, we're tranquil. Life is good, and there's not much to talk about.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about. The question is, what
can we?
Exactly. Well, I don't even feel like
But wait, didn't that girl testifying on 60 Minutes in front of the Senate tell us that we should have more rights to express ourselves?
No, what they're saying is they want a government to come in and tell us even more what we can and cannot say on these platforms.
Oh yeah, because
it's not being regulated enough yet.
Restricting enough.
Yeah, it's not enough restriction yet. We need to go a little bit higher, next level.
Exactly. We're not Nazi-ish enough. We need to go full on freaking Reichstag.
Reichstag. Woo!
I mean, in Australia.
Yeah, interesting choice of phrase.
Cell block A, cell block B, cell block C, cell block D, cell block E, cell block F. The 6 states in Australia.
Hinga dinga dinga hinga 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 dinga.
So the Muppet Show, yeah. Where is Camel Toe? I haven't seen her around.
Wait, what are you talking about? Stop. Who is? No, I don't think any character on the Muppet Show is referred to as that. So please don't go down that road. I don't know that character. Wow.
Oh, Muppets. Who's on a string? Who's being controlled? Well, most obviously, Barack's most loyal observer would be there. That's why I mentioned her.
Okay. Okay. That's your nickname for somebody else. I didn't know if you were referring to an actual Muppet you thought was on the Muppet Show. I was just going to compare us to the old men in the theater that are up in the balcony, just kind of shooting the shit, saying
I'm the round-faced one. I'm not the long-faced one.
I could be the long-faced one.
Was an asshole. The short-faced one, nah, he spoke wisdom.
I could be the asshole.
You got a longer face. That makes sense. So yeah, we're in the balcony.
The balcony looking down on the crowd. What, is it over yet?
Yeah, I thought it was over 20 years ago.
No.
Not something we can discuss, but I highly recommend it. That's what's always good. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely loved. No, sorry, I always wanted to be Animal. He was my favorite. Except I'm a little bit more eloquent. Unfortunately. It's a problem. But yeah, it is what it is. Life is. Good.
I always compare. This is a kind of a younger reference. Mudrabbit might not get it, but I used to watch the Wild Thornberrys when I was younger on Nickelodeon, and the bass player for the Black Eyed Peas, or not the Black Eyed Peas, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, goes by the name of Flea, and he plays this wild kid that they just found out in the Amazon.
That was Flea. He's fucking awesome.
He's like blah, 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 just running around all the time. He was like the Tasmanian devil of his time.
Yeah, that was Flea. All right. Tasmanian devil, also another good one.
That's a funny one too. That's a funny one. Which Golden Girl would you be, Mr. Peña?
The oldest one. She had the greatest life. I mean, she was still willing to drink and smoke, and
she was the youngest one, actually. She was actually the youngest one when it came to actresses. The little old lady. Yeah, surprisingly. Yeah.
Really? All right. She seemed like she had, but then again, since I'm not into necroscopy, Betty White would be the only one still alive. So yeah, that would be my.
Hey, Blanche on Ranch.
She'd probably teach me stuff. I mean, that woman knows things. I mean, she said, why do they call weak people pussy? They take a beating.
Who calls weak people that?
Whenever she goes, I don't understand why people call weak people a pussy, because a pussy takes a beating. And it's got nothing.
God. That sounds like something she'd say. She's a feisty old lady. Oh, we have a minion in here with us. Uh-oh.
Betty White. I love her.
Whoop. No. We have a guest joining us.
Well, hello there. What are we munching on tonight?
What up?
How are we doing tonight, April?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on.
You don't know what you're doing?
No, I had to shut the volume off on the actual stream.
Oh, surprisingly, I didn't hear it coming through. It actually did pretty well.
Ironically, when it does that on my phone, it doesn't actually go through. So.
How you been?
I'm all right. Just eating crappy takeout.
What you got?
Crappy takeout.
Man, everybody always brings food on the live, and I'm always like, man, come on. I get hungry when everybody brings these good foods around.
Okay, fine.
Liquid carbs.
eating waffle fries in front of me or crinkle fries. I'm like, I'm so jealous.
Liquid carbs. Nothing beats liquid. A liquid diet is a good fucking diet, man.
Hey, my drinks are all carb free.
Hello to the chat.
That's why you're skinny. I'm getting the gut. It's a proud gut too.
I'm watching you.
I was just messing with you, April. You don't have to turn your camera off.
Please no.
Mud Rabbit said that was something Blanche said. He remembers that. Blanche on. I always remember. They always had Elf on a Shelf, and then one year they came out with Blanche on Ranch, and people kept like having ranch on a bottle of ranch. I mean, Blanche on a bottle of ranch. It made me laugh. Oh, hey, Leah. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hey. All right, we're 2 hours in, but she's always welcome. Let's see if we get some new stuff. Her and Mud Rabbit can like to go down some deep fucking rabbit holes.
Mud Rabbit said, April, you're in pink tonight. Does this mean you're off tonight? Not working?
Yeah, no work tonight. New schedule.
Well, then talk to us, April. Go ahead and turn your camera back on. I don't care if you're eating.
April's been busting her ass working doubles the last few nights.
Yeah, my schedule at the moment is doubles on Mondays and Tuesdays, my regular 8-hour on Sunday night, and then I have 4 days off. So,
Ooh, Tiffany just said curly fries. Ooh, all right. So Arby's is my go-to for curly fries.
Oh man, y'all make me sick. I miss all that shit so fucking much.
Ooh.
But at the same time, I'm not fat because I actually made macaroni and cheese today, or macaroni.
April, that's what. April, we got to give Infinite was giving you an update. She said, April, we're talking about the sexiest Golden Girls. I didn't know that was how it was phrased the first time. I thought it was just your favorite Golden Girl. I didn't know we were going for sexiest Golden Girl. But apparently that's where the conversation has evolved to.
Betty White's the sexiest.
I would still say sexiest Golden Girls would be that oldest one, that short one, because she's a little mama.
Well, and she's like I keep telling everybody this, and no one believes me. She's the youngest one.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, yeah.
But her personality, the
Wasn't Bea Arthur the oldest?
Leah, you got to start bringing that. You got to start getting that that bell on constant ring. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you gotta resubscribe.
Wasn't Bea Arthur the oldest?
What was that?
Wasn't Bea Arthur the oldest?
I thought so. Yeah. I thought she was the short one, right? The short one with the glasses was the oldest one.
Bea Arthur.
The tall one is the oldest.
The tall one is Bea Arthur.
Yeah.
The short one, I forget what her real name is.
I haven't even watched it in a while. Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Estelle Getty, is that her name? Estelle
What's
Getty?
I don't know.
The mother on Golden Girls. The short one. I think
I'm not sure. I'm not sure their names.
Mom, what was the name of the woman that played the mother on Golden Girls? Is that Estelle Getty?
So it wasn't Sophia the oldest one?
The old lady, short old lady.
Estelle Getty?
Yeah.
See, I know
Estelle
my
Getty.
names. See, I know my names.
What's the one with the deep voice?
I forget what her name was.
Dorothy?
I know.
No, but her real name.
On the tip of my tongue. Where's Peter?
If anyone would know the names, it would be my mother. That's from like her era.
Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in. We got 8 people tuning in right now. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. We're kind of letting everybody on to hang out with us tonight, so feel free to join in.
There's some bizarre noise background, but anyway, Estelle Getty, I think, was
Sophie.
Dorothy. I don't know. I never liked Dorothy. She was always the pain in the ass. Betty White was always the dimwit, and I loved her to death. I still do. But that old one, she was a feisty one, and evidently she wasn't the oldest one. Estelle Getty. She was. Loved her because of that attitude. It's all about the fucking attitude.
Yeah. See, I
Go ahead.
Yeah, Beata was the tall one.
Okay.
It was. So,
Yeah. Sophia
Um,
was Estelle Getty. Dorothy was B. Arthur.
Yeah.
And then Betty White was who? Which character was Betty?
Betty White.
Um,
That was her.
Very right was Rue. And then there was Rose.
Rose was fun. Rose was fun. I liked Rose. But she was, almost middle-aged. I mean, she wasn't quite that old yet. But then again, shit, I'm getting close to the age to where those girls were. So what the fuck? It goes by quick. Life goes real fucking. I'm about Rose's age. Holy fucking shit! Yeah, I'm getting there. Life is fucked up. Luna Flanagan.
I mean, yeah.
Is that Betty
That
White's?
was Betty White.
That's
That was her
Betty White
character's
played.
full name. That was the character's
Luna
full name.
Flanagan was the name of Betty White's character.
Yeah.
I never knew Rue was. Holy shit! Okay, hey Rue.
No, I thought it was Ruth. Ruth.
All right, never got that one. So sure, but then again, that was
Betty equals Rose. Rue equals Blanche.
White Rose. Oh, okay.
Favorite from you.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's Mud Rabbit giving us more information, more mud puddles to go into. Shit.
I think that question's for Mr. Peña.
What?
I don't think that's a question to me.
Oh, no, almost 50. But anyway, yeah, it's getting pretty damn close. And I'm not sure if I'll get to Captain Kirk's age and getting to space.
I just had somebody in my county turn 100 years old today. So happy
Captain
birthday
Kirk
to
will
the
be
gentleman
90
in
years old when he goes to space. Officially. Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk. The actor, the 60s show and everything
You're
else.
talking about the bald guy?
No, before that.
No, that's Spock. Oh, so you're talking about Shatner.
William Shatner.
Yeah.
William Shatner will be 90 years old when he goes up on the Blue Origin spacecraft. He will be a 90-year-old astronaut. He will be the oldest man in space.
That is pretty old.
Pretty fucking cool. William Shatner will finally get into space. That's freaking awesome.
He's been there. Don't act like he hasn't been there. I feel like Star Trek was one of the closest we got to soft disclosure of of anything that we ever got from the government.
That doesn't mean that the actors knew about it. I mean, the people
who
created the show were telling them what they wanted humanity to evolve to, or what they had seen humanity evolve into. Doesn't mean they let the actors actually know.
Infinite. I don't think that's what's going to get the rocket up. I feel like there needs to be more involved.
But I could get somebody to the moon, definitely.
Jesus. You're not 90. It's different. Let us know when you're 90. I want an
those
update.
two together, even at that age, I'll be able to get the job done. I can fucking guarantee you. But yes.
Captain Kirk is my rabbit. What was that, April?
So look at Dick Van Dyke. That dude still dancing his ass off at 95.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Dick Van Dyke went to space.
No, but he's still going. Really.
He's still alive. He's one of the few that are still alive after 90.
Yeah, I think he's just behind Betty White as far as the old school actors.
But isn't Betty
But
White
still-
like 150 now?
Who?
Isn't Betty White like 150 now?
No, close. I think she's almost 100.
Dude, I remember a couple of years ago, everybody came out on social media that Betty White passed away, and I was like freaking out. I'm like, no, she's the only
I
good
know,
one we got
me
left.
too. Even now, pushing 100, I still can't believe if it actually happened because no, she's fucking eternal.
No, look when what
Betty
happened
White's a
last
little
year,
fucking goddess.
with everything that happened in the past almost 2 years at this point, the one person everybody was concerned with is Betty White better still be alive. You know how many things I see? I go, people better not mess with Betty White or heads are gonna turn.
Yeah, everybody's got this high standing they put Betty White on. I like it. I appreciate it. She's done a lot of work. I mean, I feel like she's one of the best.
Well, Betty White's good, folks.
I mean,
From
she's
what I
still
can tell, I don't know. I might be wrong.
From what as far as I know, I mean, other than all that's gone on in the past year, 2 years, she's been all the way up until this point, or up until the beginning of last year. She was working, still working.
Still working. That's a working girl.
Oh yeah, she stays busy.
But you got to, because that's the joie de vivre. That's the joy of being alive. Is doing the things that you're supposed to do. But on other topics, how about China being a complete fucking dick?
How about we don't go into those topics? That could take us down a dark path really quickly.
Or take us back
No.
to light, away from the communist manifesto that is to dominate through CRT and the domination of the Americas. Oh God!
So do you think this is a political game, or do you think it's a media game to make you think it's a political game?
No, the thing is, that this is a complete global takeover by those who have up until now controlled almost all of it, but they want complete and absolute control. And so,
If we're gonna go off the hinges, why don't you think God will step in and interfere with these demons that are taking over our politics?
well, the thing is that he tells us what they're going to do, and he also tells us that he intervenes before all flesh is lost. So yeah, he also states
So he comes in at the
many
end.
will perish for lack of knowledge.
So he comes in at the end.
Huh?
Is that what you're saying? He comes in at the end before all flesh is lost.
Yep.
So
They didn't say that right away, but supervisor will take the question bringing it up.
what was that?
It takes too long.
My mother's talking in the background.
There's
Oh.
lots of background noise that I was wondering about.
Terry said, "What's the matter with General Tso chicken?" I love me some General Tso. Oh, that's the one thing that anybody that complains about China can't admit is they love Chinese food at the same time.
I have nothing against
I have a-
Chinese.
Orange
I have
chicken
nothing.
is my
I have
happy
nothing
kid.
against Chinese people. I love Chinese food.
No,
I
actually,
might have a problem with the government itself, but the people aren't
hold
bad.
on. You talk about Chinese food. That the Chinese food that you eat is not Chinese food.
The majority of
It is
food that we
Americanized Chinese cuisine. It is very different. It is made for the American palate. The Chinese
Let me-
families
let me-
over
let
here
me
did
rephrase that a little
for
bit.
purpose
So,
because they
let me
wanted to
rephrase
sell,
that.
so they adapted it to what we prefer, and they have done
So
that.
there was a lot of immigrants working when we were building our trains, and
Yeah.
a lot of them were Chinese immigrants. And
Yes.
those are the ones that introduced what we call Chinese food today. And yes,
Yeah.
I do consider that
But
a
there's a-
Chinese dish made with what they had.
However, there is, for example, the reason that there are so many Chinese. This was an article that I read a God, a year and a half, 2 years ago, that was explaining the fact of why there was so many. Because I love Chinese food. I live, obviously in the U.S. I love Chinese food. But what it was talking about is the reason they gave these people residency, and it wasn't just for the railroads. It was at that time that China was opening up as well, because there was this English invasion, and the Chinese actually had a way of getting the fuck out, and so they wanted a way to a better life. And the American rules at that point were, if you were to be an immigrant, you had to open up a business that would employ a certain amount of people, and your family could come over and help you with that establishment if it generated income for more people. And what they found worked under that hypothesis were small restaurants, to where, father would be cooking, mother would be waiting tables, the daughter would be taking the check, and, the family would be working in a family restaurant. And what did they know best? Well, they brought in their cuisine that they had. And so that expanded. Why? Because that was the only job that they could get. Nobody wanted to give the Chinese any kind of jobs. Why? Because they're all fucking racist motherfuckers. We always have been. Why? Because it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Chinese, or whatever the fuck. You're always going to want people that are more similar to you. Humanity is fucking racist. Period. No matter.
Well, and I think you see that in all cultures.
No matter where you go, everybody is.
It's like we were talking about before. It's that building communities, and then you start building a community, and then all of a sudden there's an outsider that wants to come into your community. So you immediately got to push back as a community, and it's not necessarily always the right thing to do. But at the same time, I understand why it keeps repeating, because we do this on a regular basis. But also, Leah, prayers going to you. I hope you're doing well. Sorry to hear that. Got word a friend of hers had passed away.
Shit, best
wishes, prayers,
condolences. Definitely. Not going to ask what it was about. That's too much information. We don't need to know. Just condolences. Any life loss is a loss. Yeah. The amount of people that we're going to lose in the next couple of years, my friend, we got to get used to this. Because life at the other side of this war, I don't know, will be irrecognizable from what we see it as today. I don't know how close to Mad Max or how close to Harry Potter it's going to be. I don't know where we're going to be ending up.
And I hope closer to Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I want that black magic in my life. I would join Slytherin. I'd be on that serpent side. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be speaking tongues and all that.
Yeah, I got that feeling, Jacob.
Oh, come on. You didn't get that feeling off of me.
I did too. I mean, what the fuck?
You try to act like you don't like me, but you love me. Don't even lie. You love my company. I enjoy your company.
I love all of God's creations. They're all good folks. I love all God's creations.
Some of them I just got to judge more than others.
Some make me more unhappy than others. It's a whole other thing I can't judge. I just know what the judge actually judges, and I'm faulty of many of his judgments as well. So I am not a final judge. I can actually be a witness to various things, but at the same time, we've got that the adversary that is a constant witness against us. So do I really want to be an adversary? No, not really. So the thing is, the people will do what they're going to do. Am I going to do that? No. Can we obligate others to do what we want them to do? No, that goes against the free will that God gave. However, can we expand the general knowledge and concept to where people will do what needs to be done versus doing what their essence tells them they want to? Liberty versus libertinaging, that frivolity of do what thou willst.
Let's I want all of us to unpack this question, and in April, you got to take it first. Do you see the question on the bottom of the screen? Let me get down here. You gotta unmute. If you can see it, it says, "People, what do you want to see in our future?"
No, but do you want me to talk? I thought you wanted.
I wanted April to, but she was muted.
Oh, okay. I
Hi.
was muted too.
I'm
Hello,
muted.
April.
Hi, I'm muted.
Now you're not.
I know. I don't know.
What would you consider a positive future in your own eyes? Just off of what you see might be a problem in today's society that you either would like to get rid of in the future, or like if you could think of any kind of betterments that would help us in your own perspective.
I don't know. It's too many things running through my head at the moment.
That's okay. You want us to come back to you? We'll ask everybody else. We'll come back.
Sure, why not?
I know, because I know Peña wants to unpack this one. What do you want to see in our future without tying too much into current situation? Talk about the future utopia you see that you want.
There's a difference between a future we can expect, a future that's most probable, a future I would like to see, and a future that everyone else imagines might actually be. Which is usually a promulgation of the constant factor expanded. Nothing changes, it only gets better. That is definitely not what's going to be in our future. So everybody's imagination is bunk, because
your future is the world's going to burn.
Somebody's going to burn it. Just how it burns is going to be a little bit different. I'm not sure.
But you're saying it's guaranteed to burn.
I don't see a decent way out of this fucking mess. Because somebody wants absolute control, and there's a good portion of us.
But the question is, what if you had a magic wand? What would you like? What would you want?
Am I Thanos? Am I Thanos?
No, it's a hypothetical. I know hypotheticals. I know hypotheticals are hard, but I feel like you could represent this hypothetical. If everything was going according to plans, how could you?
According to plan, we eliminate all fucking communists. Boom, and things would go back. No, it's not necessarily that clear and friendly. Why? Because after all, there was a huge price paid for us to have the freedom of choice. And so, unfortunately, we have to respect that choice because the price paid was higher than mine, because the price paid include all of us. So I cannot impede the people's choices. However, could we have a utopian future? It would be nice if people were on the same page, which means if people had an agreement of others' individuality, of the price that Jesus paid for us to be free and be able to have this choice, that we take the responsibility of having the choice on ourselves instead of trying to toss them on to others and cover it up no matter what the cost may be. And we see that now in large corporate leaders that have become billionaires recently that continue to lie to protect their own profits, because if they allow the truth to be open now, all of their profits will no longer exist and they may be in jail. And so they continue to lie and destroy multitudes of lives for their own profit and fear. Now, my ultimate view of future would be that people would not be relegated to that fear because they would not be devout to their own desires for money. You know, the love of money is the root of all evil. When people desire everything, money above anything and everything else, therein lies the rub and the problem. And in today's society, we can't say, no, but wait, we can't consider that because corporations are profit driven, not philanthropies. Exactly. And who detains the majority of the clout and the power in the world today aren't governments, they're corporations, which are not compassion built, but profit. And the false compassion that they show today isn't their compassion, it's their will for profit. They will lie and say what they need to continue the profits that they need to continue to fund their billionaire fucking practices. When we
All right, let me jump in on this one. So if I was thinking of a future civilization that I would like, I would think of it in the eyes of if we as a civilization could get rid of the emotion known as envy, where you're envious of another because of their standings, their financial gains, their anything, rather than just being happy for others. I feel like we would be better as a society. It's wanting what other people have is what I think is detrimental to society, and it exacerbates the thing that you talked about with human greed.
No, I understand that envy and everything else. Absolutely. I'm not coming from a place of envy. I'm coming from a place
No, no,
of
no. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying society as a whole does.
because
They
yeah,
always put what other people have.
but it's driven psychologically by many different programs to be that. The marketing programs that we see are envy driven. The things that Kennedy and Q talked about are
What's
you know
my
the
favorite
envy
reference
of the
I love to
situation.
make when we're doing this? What's my favorite reference I always make to you when we're doing this? I'm a material girl, and this is a material world. And yeah, this is what we've been. This is what we've been exposed
but
to.
that attitude leads to
Keeping up with the
destruction.
Joneses. That it's all about material.
And that leads to
And you got to have the
depression
next
and
best thing.
destruction. And the situation where we are today, where no one understands their worth because God loved us so much that he gave his only begotten son for us. We are worth the sacrifice. That's why he sacrificed, because he deems us worthy of the sacrifice. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. He loves us. And the majority of people don't understand that because they don't even believe in the creator. So they don't understand that he loves us so much that he's willing to give us a second fucking chance to continue this consciousness. Okay. But what we need to do is build the reality that we want to see. And that starts in your communities. That starts with yourself. That starts in you doing the things that you want to be able to see and do. Be the productive individual and the different things that you want to do, and inspire those around you and your family and your friends. And I know I'm being a hypocrite because I'm not even doing the things that I need to do. However, the way that we build society is if individuals actually did that, to where they improve their own lives in their way and perspective in dealing with the things that they need to do, and help those around them to promulgate, not just, my neighbor's there, but I haven't seen him in 15 years because he's a dickhead and I don't want to deal with him. No, we talk to the neighbors. We find out what's going on. We do the painful things of dealing with family members that we don't agree with, because hey, that's what community's about. That's what I did last millennium. What made me great is because I listened to that freaking boring ass aunt and that, boisterous fucking uncle and that other self-absorbed guy that was just like, but you learn from every one of them.
Hey, I think the next question is for you, Peña.
Okay.
I think Infinite Moi was wondering if you had she was wondering if you had studied or had a degree, because I think you have talked about that before.
Okay. I've got an international business degree from the University of Texas in the U.S. I also got an international business degree administration with habilitation in international business here in Brazil. I got a postgraduate in finance. I was starting a master's in economics. I also studied seminary and administration when I was in after college, before everything else. So yeah, there's some stuff in there, and I want to do a psychology degree next, just so I can fucking do it and have the degree or whatever.
Hey Terry just sent me a picture. What is this from? I got the picture. I'm just trying to figure out what it's from. I can't tell from the picture. I see the two people. And I see it looks like a wedding of some sort. I can't figure out who they are.
Give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. Let's see. I'm gonna catch up the chat a little bit here at the same time. On Helaw means you don't get to eat chicken, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Oh, there's Terry. That's what I was looking for. Give me a little update here, Terry.
Hey,
How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How?
So what is this picture you sent me?
Okay, so I'm hearing some music. Who is that?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. So I saw that question that was posed. What would you like to see in the future? Well, that's actually a picture of fairly recent past, and that just happened this past Saturday. In addition to being a professional wrestling referee, I also am a wedding coordinator, and I help put together wedding ceremonies and receptions. And this was a wedding that I helped put together just this past Saturday. And as fate would have it, thank you. I appreciate that. That's actually my company that Jacob is so thankfully plugging, perfectweddingpackages.com.
I mean, if you're my perfect quote guy, if I can't come up with your site when you come on and reference it, I gotta be on point like you are. I can't be slacking over here.
Yeah. So I sent you a picture of what just happened this past Saturday, just because it was so beautiful, and you're more than welcome to share it. As long as they don't mind. Yeah, I'm happy. And they don't mind. Already checked with them, and plus it's too far away where you can't even tell who they are to begin with. And we're not going to say any names or locations or anything like that. But I do want to make a point here. What I would like to see in the future is very much based on this photograph, just because it's so beautiful. What just by sheer happenstance happened. And there we go. And I don't know, Jacob, can you actually zoom in up above the van engine, because you'll see it. What's going on is there's a bright, beautiful rainbow actually appeared in the sky.
Right, it's right. You guys can't see it, but it's right here where my cursor is. I don't have a zoom in quality on this picture. I'm not sure why it's not coming up. But I don't want to get out of this and it come into something else. But the zoom in quality is not working. But I can see it, guys. It's like right here between these two bushes that starts up and goes this way.
Yeah. And it was a full-on bright, beautiful rainbow. And what a wonderful opportunity that was. You can see what's going on in the photos. This happened just right after they were pronounced husband and wife. And the photographer got some beautiful photos, of course. What a wonderful portfolio he's going to have after this wedding. And, of course, you can also see the videographer and some of the guests standing around getting their pictures and everything. And what a beautiful moment. And I heard Peña Perspective saying that, we all have to build these moments together. And while you had this bright, beautiful rainbow going on, of course, as the DJ over here on the sound system, I was playing What a Wonderful World and Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Those beautiful songs, just making that excellent, beautiful moments, and got a lot of compliments from a lot of the guests there in attendance. What a beautiful, perfect moment that it really was. And it just all ties together, too, because Infinite Moi was mentioning, hey, let's all get married here. So...
Perfect timing.
There we are. Yeah. That's what I want to see in the future. So,
well, just with everything going on right now, it's good to see people out there having weddings again and getting back into that type of happiness. You know what I mean? And going out and having those experiences again.
Yeah,
life is
what was so great about this?
Without those moments, you don't have life.
Said life is those moments.
Yeah. Yeah, and what made it so great is this couple just pretty much did everything all by themselves, put everything together. Their family has a farm here in rural Illinois, and they just had everything out in their backyard, and we helped them put everything together. And it just what a beautiful weekend it was.
Was going back on that topic.
No, I'm catching up. The chat's a little farther behind me. They're way in front of me.
There are some, there's a troll that you can actually jump over.
I'm surprised that hasn't been blocked already. I don't know if anybody's checking that.
Before I just jumped on, I actually put the ban hammer down on someone in the chat room. I don't know if Mud Rabbit saw it.
I appreciate that. I just saw it because it still comes up on this end. So I can still see it on my end. I was wondering if it gotten taken care of. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, I'm not on Facebook, so I can't take care of it. I just see it on this chat.
Oh no, you can do it on YouTube. You got a hammer in YouTube. If you need to lay it down, you just feel free
on the StreamYard, and the StreamYard doesn't transfer over. So yeah, I know I've got the band hammer on YouTube, and if I were there, I would, because that's just fucked up. But anyway, that thing about property rights. Look, there's a thing to where each individual is responsible for their own choices. Why? Because we are responsible for ourselves. Period. The end. Whenever they're talking about restrictions and everything else, because it's not the actual individual. We're not talking about the individual that we want to protect. We're talking about other individuals. It's that general concept of not killing another. It's not about men deciding what women can or cannot do, because in that case, I agree with you. No, nobody should decide, because as soon as we decide, we got that fucking dumbass motherfucker telling me that I need to participate in some kind of freaking experiment. I'm sorry. No, my body, my choice. And so, I don't want to be a hypocrite and say that, no, your body and I'm going to decide what you do with it. However, it's not just yours.
And that's the same problem that I had with Republicans during all of this mask bullshit. They're fine saying, "Oh, my body, my choice" when it comes to a mask, but not when it comes to abortion. You need to unpack those ideas. You can't just use the universal term to not unpack your own ideas. And that used to piss me off so much. All of a sudden, the right wants to use that argument.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Like in China, if they want to require you to get an abortion because it's your second child and you need to abort it, should you agree because the state tells you to? No, they also don't have a choice in requiring you to get rid of it. If you want to have another, it is your fucking choice. You're going to have to deal with those consequences later on, but it is your choice to have another. The state, in many cases, mandates the deletion of that future life. And in those cases, I think the state abhorrently wrong. The state should not impose its will on the individual, period, the end. But the question that we get in here is, for example, the heartbeat. It is another individual. Whose responsibility is that individual? It's not the state's, but the state is there to make sure that when somebody kills somebody else, somebody pays a penalty.
Well, just like we were talking about with these social media platforms, do you want the state to have that oversight?
No, absolutely not. And that's the whole thing. We shouldn't have. However, the mandate in Texas isn't about the state having the mandate. It's about an individual being able to say, hey, I saw that you stabbed that other guy in the back. I didn't like it, and I'm going to make it a complaint. And I have the right to make a complaint because somebody else got jacked. Therein.
Hold on, I gotta unpack some of this in the chat. So Terry, you said you reported them. How did that work?
Just went in, right-clicked on the little drop-down menu where it has the three dots.
Okay.
On the right-hand side of their name, and it says report, and then reason why it's like offensive word, pornography, spam, whatever.
But see, the whole context doesn't make sense, because how can he be orally pleasured when he's using that same something else. There's no connection.
I think you're looking into it a little farther than you need to. My biggest thing
doesn't make any fucking sense. One of them's dead, and the other one is dead. We don't even know yet.
My thing is, why is this platform that's allowing everybody to be on here that is so specific about the rules of the people on this platform? Why can they not simply put in an algorithm to stop a horrible name being created in their own context?
Because their algorithm doesn't block what they agree with.
So you think they agree with that, and that's why it's allowed?
Because
I just think they don't combat it at all.
No,
I don't think they agree with it necessarily. I just think they put the responsibility.
That's why they accept that bullshit and they allow
this is something interesting that I found that Facebook did rather than YouTube. Facebook actually penalizes the person that creates the name and goes from there, and doesn't put the responsibility on the streamer. YouTube puts the responsibility on the streamer for the chat.
Yeah, well, that's
on YouTube. You're responsible for your chat. So luckily, I have moderators that are paying more attention than myself.
I always felt who did the crime should do the time.
Exactly, I agree with you, Terry. I mean, and these are the people that should be addressed for it. It sucks that we get stuck with it. Like somebody just put a horrible picture up on the local newspaper. The newspaper should get in trouble for it. Yeah, but only because you allowed them to put that picture up there. I consider YouTube the newspaper in this stance. Like I'm writing one article. Don't let them jump on my article and say whatever the hell they want. It's a small article in the back pages that nobody might read, but that's okay. Just don't put any abrasive things on it. But I appreciate everybody helping out and getting that blocked and taken care of. Mud Rabbit. This is how communism works.
I want to, it's rules for thee and not for me. But I want to get into infinite mua. Whenever is the life, if your life is in danger, yes, absolutely. The mother is in 25 to 27% of births 2 centuries ago ended up in the mother's death. And so many of the poems and the books that we read are about men who are widowers, trying to raise their children in a household without a mother, trying to find some other female entity that will be able to give them some sense of depth and emotion to their life that they cannot give.
What studies have we ever done that proves that a male and female parenting system is the best one that we could have? I'm going to make you unpack that if you're going to put that out there, because we don't have any studies that show that a male to female is better than any alternative, because we've never seen the alternatives.
Well, we've seen alternatives like what I'm talking about as far as poets, to where their wives died prematurely, because before modern medicine, women died at an enormous rate.
The only studies that we have publicly show that 2 parents, regardless of sex, would be more beneficial for a child of any sexual orientation. The best thing you can have is 2 supporting parents rather than a single parent.
Again, you're pushing that homo crap, dude. Where do you get into?
Because my religion doesn't define how I feel about other people. That's why.
Because mine tells me that if you're fiery,
I understand you fully believe your religion. My religion and my beliefs don't define me. That doesn't
promulgate sustainable development. You cannot sustain
my job.
They don't procreate.
My job as an individual isn't to worry about society procreating. That's not my job. If that's God's job, he can worry about that. He can worry about advancing the human race.
2 kids and fuck the rest of the world. So my opinion.
But at the same time, it also in the Bible
it's your goddamn problem. You can choose.
Let's unpack this a little bit more. If you want to go down this road, we can go down this road. It also says
I didn't want to go down that road. You took us down that freaking road. But okay, we'll go there. I got no problem.
You just said, why do you keep bringing up this blah, 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 blah? Didn't you?
Yeah. Because
Mud Rabbit.
dude,
I'm not bringing it up. These are things that are occurring.
Mud Rabbit. I love how they bicker with each other.
Oh yeah, and now we have a referee on here to coordinate the
Ring the
bickering.
bell.
Take your sides, boys.
What are we arguing? What are the two of you
we
arguing
got
about?
Zebra
What-
Man and Pink Girl here, so we got to definitely stay on track.
What's that?
We got
What is
Zebra
the
Man
root-
and Pink Girl.
of your
Zebra Man
argument
and Pink
here,
Girl.
both of you.
She's not defined by her shirt. This is our artist, April, and this is our referee / DJ, Terry. And you
Zebra
happen
Man
to
and
be
Pink Girl.
our translator / religious perspective, right?
Which neither one of them define a football coach. So yeah, Zebra Man and Pink Girl.
When's the last time you coached the football team?
Know your worth.
That was probably about 5-6 years ago.
April, you still painting?
Yeah, not at the moment.
Terry, you still reffing?
I am. Matter of fact, this coming Saturday, I will be in Springfield, Illinois, for a professional wrestling event that, get this, you have not just one, but 2 full-size professional wrestling rings. They're going to be put right next to each other, and then you're going to put in not 10, not 20, no, but 30 competitors per ring.
Holy
That
shit.
means 60 competitors all together in 2 rings at the same time for a big battle royal. That's right. It's going to happen this Saturday in Springfield, Illinois, and yours truly will be the referee.
Is the big sexy going to come in and
Why
clothesline half of
why
them?
do I feel like that's that 2.5 minute interval between you? That sounds like a perfect freaking advertisement voice. But
Yeah.
wait, there's more.
In a time on the go.
You got to make it entertaining, you know?
Coming to a theater near you.
Yeah.
Get your tickets at PayPal and Ticketmaster. There it
Some
goes.
assembly required, batteries not included.
Why are batteries not included? The damn thing doesn't run without batteries. Holy shit.
That's the extra payments.
Yeah, God, that always pissed me off. But anyway, yeah, and that's why they're going to be taken down permanently, unfortunately.
I
And
guess
so-
infinite. That depends on your current view of the U.S. as a whole. I feel like now there's a public acknowledgement that more than one sex can give birth. That's been publicly acknowledged. I don't necessarily know if I know enough about it to talk about it, but people have talked about this. I'm not an expert on it, so I couldn't speculate on it. But I guess it just depends on your views nowadays. I don't even need to ask you, Michael. I already know.
Isn't it
I don't even need to
in
ask
nature that the male seahorse gives birth? Isn't it something like that?
Well, I feel like the ones with the males usually had to actually be implanted in order to carry the baby, but they actually have had biological males able to carry a baby to a certain point, but they were actually like biological. That's why I used that term. They actually do have biological males that have carried a baby. They can't birth it, and they can't sustain it by any means, but they can carry it for a period of time. When you're
Male
talking
penguins also sit on eggs.
What was that?
Male penguins also sit on eggs.
Oh yes. While the women go out, they travel.
Right.
I learned that from Happy Feet.
Disney is always an exceptional source of accurate history.
Oh yes. We talk and accept.
Goebbels would be proud of modern global.
I agree. Make April jump in here. Where's she at with her feelings about these current conversations we're having?
Oh. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm like, my brain has kind of shut off at the moment. So
I'm sorry. I hope we didn't
no,
do
it's
that.
okay. It's okay. It tends to happen after I eat. My brain just kind of like starts wandering. So
Your body tells you you got work in a little while. It's about time I want to take a nap.
yeah, pretty much that too.
No, I get it. I remember how that night shift life was. It was a toll on me, especially when it comes to like being able to function on like a normal schedule of any
Yeah,
sort.
no, and a former coworker was trying to text me the other day just to kind of check up on things because where I work, it's been on the verge of closing for probably since 2014. Um, I work at a rundown, no longer active thoroughbred horse racetrack in Boston. I'm guessing one of the oldest in the country. Don't want to say it. If you're familiar with horse racing, then you probably guess because I'm from Boston. But
I don't know. I don't know enough about the tracks, but I
yeah,
have heard of. I
yeah,
have
well,
heard of a few famous tracks.
yeah,
Most
Jacob,
of them are in Tennessee and Kentucky.
Jacob, I'm just chomping at the bit here to say in the announcer voice here what Mud Rabbit typed out. So you
Sorry, go ahead.
say go. And if you act now, in the next 5 minutes, you get this lovely nose trimmer.
ah,
Did you hear that, Manscaped? Look how good we could run an ad.
PR visits are not
Getting you
included.
sponsors.
We're looking for that 4.0 sponsorship. But which track are you referring to, April?
well, I don't want to say it because I still work there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry,
I
go ahead.
don't want, yeah, but they've been on the. They were supposed to officially close in 2014 because, again, if you're familiar with not even just horse racing, but like casino and gambling spaces, Massachusetts in 2000, I believe it was 2014, where it was finally legalized, the law passed for legalized gambling. So they started, putting the lottery out for who's going to get a casino, what cities are going to get a casino. And where I work was one of the sites that was being voted on. And
I
we
mean,
didn't.
yeah, I feel like if they got a horse racing track, they could at least take on a casino when it comes to gambling and betting
Yeah,
already.
but because of the location, a lot of people were against it for many different reasons.
Do they do off track betting there or on site?
Yeah, so there's no more live racing. There's only simulcasting. You can still come to place your bets and watch the races around the country.
There's no local racing?
No more. I don't. I think at least in this
What's
region,
the fucking point?
because people because just because
People need to bet on the race, so they go to a place that
No,
looks like
basically, they just
they
don't do
watch
public betting.
screens.
People are making. I feel like doesn't
They
that
don't
lead
have
to
the
just
horses
people making their own
actually
private
physically
bets?
running.
Doesn't that lead to just people making their own private bets? And it's just not done on a public forum. Like I
That
know
means
that
there's no way to verify it at all because they could put up whatever fucking numbers they choose because you're not physically watching. No, that horse won, not the other one. They fucked up my bet. You owe me $20,000.
I mean,
If you're just
they're
watching the screen, they can adjust the screen any way they want.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't work during the day anyway, so I'm not even there when they're doing it. I don't gamble other than getting the occasional scratch ticket. But anyway, they were supposed to close when we lost the vote for the casino license, And ever since, they've been on the verge of completely shutting down. Granted, I work with with a security company that's contracted to that site, but I don't necessarily want to stay. Like, once that place does close, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing because I really don't want to stay in security.
Well, I mean, I know. So in Illinois, they just opened up online betting again
Yeah.
for the first time in quite some time. If they did that to your state, I have a feeling a place like that could stay open. I don't feel if people want to previously
There'll be
spend their
other
money.
forms of betting. There's going to be Las Vegas everywhere, and Infinite Mua is wanting bets, and she puts a bet on you. It's your channel. Obviously, you're going to win. The house always wins. So yeah, my bet is with Infinite
Is that what that was going? 1, 2,
That's
3, or
number
4.
one. The
Well,
house
Oh,
always.
what's the
fucking
over
wins.
under? I need more odds here. I need the over
The
under.
house always wins. You got 50% odds right there.
Well, yeah, I guess I could drop everybody out of the house, but then I mean, what's the bet?
I don't know. You win another subscriber. Go ahead and share us out, Infinite Mua. Share us out to more people. Then the bet number one always wins.
She definitely does. April's one of my favorite content creators, and I love some of her drawings. If anybody in drawings, paintings, anything she does when it comes to art, I love April's work. If anybody gets a chance, please check out many of April's link tree. Give me your link tree on here so I can share it too.
Yeah,
So everybody
that's
can see your artwork.
I could get it here. Hold on.
I know you. If Tiffany's still hanging out somewhere, I feel like she's got it on copy and paste.
I mean, on my phone, I have it saved so I can just pull up the clipboard, but on my computer, I have to actually go to Linktree and grab the link. So.
Now we finally see a gay zebra.
A gay zebra? No such thing. It occurs in nature, so you can't justify it with human terms.
I just saw one putting up that little heart freaking thing on this. Yeah, I saw a gay zebra right fucking there.
You know why he put that up? Did you read the?
Yeah, I know exactly why I watched that, and
Just
I was
for
watching
Infinite
that as well.
Yeah.
How does that make me gay?
Yeah, you don't
Loving
fucking
someone
do
makes
that
me
shit.
gay? What?
Faggoty little freaking soccer players doing that shit.
The homophobic is running strong in some tonight.
It runs very fucking deep in me, damn.
Evaluate yourself,
Thou shalt not judge or be judged.
I fucking do. Don't impose on me your wills.
No, that's God's will to not judge on other people. That's not mine.
You want to take something where it ain't supposed to go? That's your problem, not mine.
Is that Matthew 7? Should we pull out the book? Is that Matthew 7 that says that?
Says what?
That says thou shalt not judge or be judged?
I'm not following in their bullshit. They can
no,
do
you're
whatever
judging them for their lifestyles or their own beliefs. Slow down
with it.
But
do not adopt them for your own.
Okay, then don't do that.
I'm not doing it.
It's called turning the other cheek.
No, it means I ain't turning no fucking cheeks to your ass. I'm fucking full on frontal chest with my freaking sword in hand, motherfucker. I ain't turning no fucking cheek.
Don't get me wrong. You're all chest and peacock sometimes. Don't get me wrong. You're all about flaunting them feathers.
I ain't turning no fucking cheek, bitch. But anyway,
he says
others can do whatever the fuck they please. Is between them and their creator.
That's a true libertarian belief, is to let other people be themselves and do with what they will, as long as they're not imposing on yourself.
Yeah, but those motherfuckers keep wanting to impose their shit on me, and therein lies.
Let me know if you have one gay guy that's ever hit on you in life.
Many when I was 15, and I continue the count on from there, including supervisors and managers.
What do you mean by okay? So you got to unpack this a little bit. You actually had
I ain't unpacking. Let's go on to the goddamn topic.
So what I'm saying is, if
I
somebody
ain't unpacking, fuck all. It is.
You don't have to. You don't have to unpack it. I can tell it's a touchy topic for you, but I don't think you should judge a group for one individual's actions, and that seems to be what you're doing. or maybe it's anecdotal by the sounds of it. If there was more than one occurrence, but it sounds like anecdotal where you're judging a group, which comes back to what I was saying, where you shouldn't judge others. It says it in your own book.
Story time with some heinous looking fucking creature telling them stories of what is not true. I've got a serious fucking problem with that shit.
Wait.
Stay the fuck away from my kids.
What is it? I don't. Okay, so somebody that's seeking a homosexual relationship isn't necessarily going for kids either. That sounds like another thing that you're far-reaching with.
They don't procreate. They go for younger generations so they can skew them. That's the whole fucking point.
I actually, I have a gay friend that's super into. I have a gay friend that's super into older men.
Fucking topic. I'm not going to get in this with you, Jake. I know.
I'm just saying, I have a gay friend that's super into older men. I'm just saying, you're just being.
I'm not going to fucking agree with you.
You don't have to agree with me. Just don't try to push your views on other people.
I'm
don't
not
judge
pushing.
other people that are on the panel with us.
Them to impose theirs on me. Period.
They weren't. This started with Terry showing a heart to one of our followers, and look where you just took it.
Yeah,
because it's just can't even make a fucking comment nowadays.
Hey! Listen, Michael. Here's the thing. You do know that upon the end of your life, you will be judged, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I will fail.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
I've done
So will I. We
nobody
all will.
Nobody in the eyes of Jesus is ever going to succeed.
Jacob, if you could just give me
my
one
point.
minute.
Go ahead, Terry.
Was 1 minute with Michael, okay?
Terry,
since you're the one who accused me, okay? I get to respond. That's how this works, right? It's how judgment works. Whether you're going to wait till the end of your life or whether we have this right now, you're going to be judged by what you said. Now, here's the thing. For the record, I am absolutely 100% straight. I love women, all right? But that being said, have I been hurt by women before? Absolutely. I know you have. As we all have, right? That's what this is about. It's all about love. It's all about all that. But here's the thing. You have to understand, Michael, is back when I was in school, people thought I was gay. I've heard that from you, from people like you, as an insult towards me. Again, I'm not, and I never was. But because I was I never participated in sports when I was in school, and because I was in drama and acting, and I didn't like getting in fights, that made me gay. And now that I'm in hang on, Michael. Now that I'm in my adult life, because I'm interested in acting and drama, and because I hang around professional wrestlers that wear spandex, and because I produce weddings, I'm somehow gay. Because I express love for someone else, I'm gay. Because I do a hand symbol like this, I'm gay. Fuck you.
Well, I feel like you should have to answer to that, Michael. That was quite the accusation. It wasn't on the joking. It wasn't on the joking realm. I was in high school wrestling, and
it wasn't a personal base attack on you, Terry. Please, no, absolutely not. I know you're a family man and everything else. The only thing that I was trying to do is I see all those soccer players and everything else in the middle of the screen going, oh, yeah. And it's just so freaking – whenever I say gay, I'm talking about associated with this materialistic, superficial fucking reality of, oh, yeah, I love you too. What kind of fucking superficial bullshit is it? And so it wasn't anything personal against you or anything else, Terry. Absolutely not.
That's literally what Terry was saying.
The generalization of,
honestly.
Oh, fuck.
We were joking.
We were joking. I was joking about
I know.
You know, the superficially, I wasn't going anywhere towards their personal preferences. I was just going, oh, come on, man. But y'all go into...
But by the way, is Infinite Moi here? I hope we didn't scare Infinite Moi away here.
Oh,
I don't believe so.
no, she's no judge to foe me or you. We're all good. If anyone's judged is here and everybody hates my ass a little bit.
That was fun.
I also
that was fun. Let's do it again. Give me angry again. Come on, Michael. Say something that just pissed me off. Let's do this. Come on.
No, you don't want my Alex Jones game frogs thing going on. No.
I actually agree with Terry on this. I grew up in wrestling since I was 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
I was wearing a singlet my whole life, where I was rolling around with other guys. That was the constant critique I got.
That's why I got out of wrestling. Holy fucking shit! I don't want to be that close to anybody else's junk.
But
I don't either.
I took a shower after my bike ride home.
Michael, hold on. Let me unpack that.
Get into a shower with other fucking guys because I didn't want to see anybody else's fucking junk. And I didn't want anybody else seeing my junk, which is why I have a custom of not taking a shower after events until I get home into my own private fucking shower because I don't like seeing people's junk.
You know why? I like that thought so much? Because I'm comfortable enough with my own sexuality to know that I'm not worried about getting turned on by another guy's junk by me.
No,
it's okay
I don't
because I trust myself. If you feel that's a dangerous road for you to go down because you might get some kind of excitement or sin in your mind, I understand.
Shower is my own fucking problem. I don't need 20 other guys looking around and saying, "Hey, dude, you thinking about me?" No.
I also don't think the middle school and high school situation of making kids shower together is a positive thing. But at the same time, when it comes to just wrestling in general and rolling around with another guy, I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality to know I'm not going to get excited and thrown off by that.
Here in Brazil, they like to talk about football, that it's like a gay sport because we roll around on the ground with each other. And the fact that you're dropping somebody else onto the ground for maybe a second and a half of impact, that's a whole nother situation, but yet they visualize it as rolling around with each other. You know, it's the perception of what people see of an event. It's not what the actual event itself is. Okay. Cause there's a lot of impact. And in whenever you're wrestling, you're not focusing on fucking junk. You're focusing on the shoulders. You're focusing on making sure that motherfucker can't move anymore. You're focusing on making sure that you're doing what you ain't focusing on that bullshit. Okay?
Yeah, that thought has never gone through my head. Actually, I do have so I'll tell you what thought as a wrestler actually does go through my head when I'm with another guy. I have a hair phobia, like armpit hair, body hair, any of that. I do not like. The last thing I want is somebody lifting their arm and putting their armpit by. Oh my God. That drives me nuts as a wrestler.
I have a problem with being that close to another human being, whichever they are. Okay. I am a germaphobe like a motherfucker. And so one of the things that I like about football is once you hit them, you get the fuck up. They're still on the ground and just go and walk the fuck off. You know, you're not there, you know, because they're still going somebody's license plate truck. It's a good place to be, you know. One impact, and you know, then you're separated. Those are the rules. I can't continue hurting the individual. I can't tackle him and continue knee him in the face, which I would love to in many cases, but I couldn't because the guy was a fucking dickhead. And so being down in there and just kneeing him in the fucking chin would be a great idea. But no, he's already on the ground. Rules are over. You're off. And you let him continue wheezing and gasping for air because you did what you had to do. Okay. The thought is getting the ball back and going forward. But that's me. That's American football. That is me and the pigskin, and everybody else is something that I'm supposed to knock over.
April, I apologize for, and if you get a chance, message me offline.
What happened?
I'll talk to you at a later point.
What happened?
If I need to apologize,
she was just upset by something that was talked about
on anything.
There's a very good chance that some of the topics brought up could have definitely pushed some buttons.
So I would to April for anything that I said that was undue. However, knowing that that might be a topic that would be questionable to our audience, I would recommend not hitting on it in the future.
It is
Well,
murky.
no. I do think it's good that people unpack these ideas because it shows you who people are. It really does.
Terry, I was fucking around with the heart thing because that's superficial.
And I was fucking around with you too.
No, you weren't. You were being real, motherfucker. You were just trying to. Yeah, I get you. You fucking zebra. I know you guys always pulling out that shit that we don't do. You see shit that doesn't fucking happen. I know you referees. You fucking invent things. You want to mandate everything, control everything on the field. I'm me. I'm going to play the way I play. Fuck you, ref. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know where that one was going either.
And I've also gotten, as a coach, gotten expelled to where I couldn't even continue talking on the field because I bitched at a referee.
Well, I agree, Infinite. Like the reason that I made Michael unpack that idea that he had that I felt was offensive is because we do try to keep it as real here as possible. And that's why I'm glad Terry also spoke his mind on it because I wanted Terry to express his side as well. So we appreciate the viewership. We try to be as open and as real as possible. And you're going to, more than anything, I'm never going to tell anybody that their views are wrong. What I'm going to do is make them unpack their ideas and everybody else in the comments can judge themselves. If you want to tune into this, you don't have to. If you do, great. I appreciate it.
One of the previous comments.
I just don't want to offend anybody, and I want to keep it as civil as possible. We're not talking overs.
There was a comment before that said that this is one of the most authentic shows that they've seen, and yeah, I try and be. I try not to pull any punches or fake shit out or be fucking PC and that sort of shit, and it becomes relatively evident. No, I'm not against people getting abortion, and I'm not against gay marriage. People can do whatever the fuck they please to do. Do I choose to do that for my own life?
Where's mine?
No. Would I recommend? Oh, you fucking zebra! Kiss my ass, bitch! I mean, you know how
Where's
to piss
yours?
me off.
Yeah.
You know how to piss me off. Holy fucking shit! All right, whatever. Everybody can do whatever the fuck.
Mine's not as good as diet, but it's a good substitute.
No, even the diet Dr. Pepper would feel good right now. Holy shit. Yeah, there are benefits to being in Brazil, but at the same time, holy shit, I miss Taco Bell and Dr. Pepper. But yeah, it is what it is. Everyone is a what? That's an article.
A+.
We're all real assholes. They're real dickheads. And Terry and everyone. Well, she mentioned you, so yeah, that's a problem with the referee. It's an indirect assumption to you, Terry.
I think it's
absolutely.
I think
you're
assuming what A means. I think A stands for awesome. I think you're assuming what A means.
A would be an article.
What if A stands for everybody is awesome?
Well, okay, we can go with that one, and
because I'm pretty sure I like my panel and you guys. That's why I have you guys up so much. I like having Terry up here. I like having you up here.
Terry's a fucking problem, man. I mean, zebras are always a problem. They're always doing shit wrong.
Terry's the only goddamn order we got on this channel.
I mean, holy fucking shit. Zebras always want to show up more than what the fucking players do. I mean, holy fucking shit. You know, get an ability, man, not just a striped shirt. What the fuck?
That you made my point for me. Zebras are the only ones showing up. The players aren't even showing up these days. Get a job.
The players are showing up. The fans aren't showing up because they fucking started kneeling at the flag, and they're requiring everybody to get some kind of experimental dosage of something. You know, whatever the fuck. The only ones showing up are the TV cameras. But anyway, time for
Yes,
the panel.
Infinite Moi.
Oh shit! Infinite
You have the
Moi's always
best
got some good
question.
questions.
Infinite, actually, I hate to be this guy, but I actually am going to wrap it up. We're at about the 3:20 mark.
3:20 mark.
I am going to wrap it up here pretty soon. But if anybody has any goodbyes, last questions on the way out, I'm happy to
Yeah, I'm
answer
sure
them.
Infinite Moi is going to have a last question for the panel.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you have a last one before, if you think we can unpack it in a short time, otherwise, definitely turn in next time. Oh, that's a good question.
We can do that one and wrap it up on a good music.
The Rhapsody in Blue by Gershwin.
Okay, good choice. Good choice.
Yeah. Reason being, it's not necessarily a song. It's again, it's a rhapsody, and a rhapsody is more of like several little mix mash of songs put together. It's the original mix up. You know, like we have today, where you take this song and mix it up with that
whatever
song.
you call them.
Yeah. Gershwin is a wonderful one of those pioneers of music. Again, it's called the Rhapsody in Blue. Very much
Gershwin was one
recommended.
of the original American pioneers, and so Gershwin's. I mean, the only reason that I know about Gershwin is because of academic decathlon. Okay, so we had to know about music and literature and everything else in order to compete on a nationwide scale. And so, yeah, I was forced to listen to Gershwin as well, many of his acts, to be able to recognize him in the middle of a competition. And yes, Gershwin was absolutely fantastic. His mixture of sounds was uniquely American, to where he would grab other essences and put them in a uniquely American fashion. And so when you listen to Gershwin, when he's used, you can feel the essence of what it is. I mean, you can feel New York, you can feel Boston, you can feel Pennsylvania, you can feel that energy of movement, of human interaction in Gershwin itself, and in the majority of the art that he did as well, and the plays that were done afterwards based on the music that he made are absolutely fantastic and absolutely American.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, kudos on that choice.
Thank you.
I was going to say Metallica or Motley Crue, so I'm a lot more fucking superficial than you. I wasn't.
I know you didn't ask me, but I couldn't pick a favorite song. I could pick a favorite song from every genre that you could present me, but that would be a very long conversation. I'm very big on music, and I use music as a type of meditation or medicine in my life that gets me through tough times, easy times, happy times, sad times, a little bit of everything. And that is a great note to end things on, though. Music, I think, helps everybody.
The song that I always listened to that was in those repetitive trips that I made from Oklahoma to Mexico City, and those repeat tapes that we always had. And so you would listen to the same hour of music, hour after hour, 12 hours straight. The one song that ingrained in me, Alan Parsons Project, Eye in the Sky. Okay. So yeah, Infinite Moi's Loving Terry. He's going to have to be on here. Him and that faggoty little response there.
All right.
What?
Sorry, you're going to get removed for that. Sorry, dude. You can't.
Ring the bell.
Come off as joking off of the second time.
Gosh.
But we are wrapping up tonight. I appreciate everybody. We all love music here. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Terry, for coming up. And like always, we'll be back for a regular Peña Perspective on Thursdays. He will still be on with us. He ain't going nowhere. He's my man. I don't believe it. All of the same things he believes, and he knows that, but we like to unpack our ideas together. So thank you, Terry. I appreciate it.
In fairness, just one thing I admire, and I do love him, and most especially for his admiration and practice of the First Amendment. Freedom of speech is a beautiful thing. In practice, in theory, until you cross the line and start offending others, and then it all just goes downhill. But much love to everyone. Beautiful night. Thank you.
Thank you again, Terry. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great night.